Okay, what up, ladies and gentlemen? I hope that you guys are ready because today we are going to have yet another chill, fun stream, but we are going to talk about, alright, the dev live stream. Now, I did not participate, nor was I able to view the dev live stream because I was obviously busy and with a little thing called sleep at the time when the devs go live. So, I get my information secondhand, usually from the people that like to support me, so they usually tell me stuff. But the devs have also posted a very nice summary on their website, which I read through, and it seemed fairly interesting. So yeah, I've got the gist of what happened. Now I'm here to hear your thoughts on the matter. So that's what today will be focused around. I hope to hear from the community. Let's talk about it. Okay, there we go. How are you, 240? Good to see you. Let me just set up my usual goal and such. Okay, and then after that, I will set up a poll. Okay, there we go. Hello, Axome, Thanet, SBG, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, everybody. All right. For those of you that did attend the dev live stream today, please feel free to share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys, and I think that that'll be very important today, especially as we find out, you know, what's going on. Let's learn. And while we learn, I'm going to tell Discord, my Discord, and Twitter that I'm live, so that we can all chill today and have some conversations. Because I do be liking to converse. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in myself today because today I wanted to release another new track, as I always do, like, you know, one track per day. But yeah, just was a bit too tired, so that was tough. Okay. Okay. Posted. Okay. That's fair enough, SBG. Charles, welcome. Reactor enhancements. I had heard about that, but I believe they said something about new external components and modules. Total of 5 new external components, 2 new modules will be introduced, offering greater build diversity and enabling more specialized role-based configurations. So they're planning to introduce Reactor and external component enhancement system. I don't know. This is very interesting to me, but I guess we'll have to see, you know, what we ultimately end up wanting. Hey, Jono, Good to see you. Not in the usual chat and chill today. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. Ultimate Warlord, what up? Well, yes, I mean, when I talked about the arcade tuning board, I'm pretty sure everyone already knows, but when it was first introduced, I did literally say this is a Diablo 4 Paragon board because that's where you're going to be able to put additional boards. However, they need to be very, very clear that if they're going to do this, they better make viable subclasses, you know? Fair enough, John. Always got to check on my people when they do different things. And Trig, have you checked my video on the Malevolent and Serena for Void Erosion Purge? Why don't you check that video, Trig? Because it's there for you. Everything you need to know is in that video. But yeah, the socket system is probably just going to be additional Paragon boards that you can tack on. Because this is the tuning connection point. I'm pretty sure this is what they mean. You're going to be able to socket another board onto it and spec into subclasses. But the subclasses need to be very, very good. Because if everybody has the same lame subclasses, it's just going to result in one build being better than all others, and that's what we already have. Hey, Lewis. So, yeah, I'm hoping that that will be the case, but either way, them introducing more systems for skill-based Descendants looks like it's... To me, this is like some kind of twisted power creep system whereby, like, skill-based Descendants are going to now be competing with gun-based Descendants, and it's going to be this never-ending one-upsmanship, which is what got them into this situation in the first place, where they had to so-called bring down an S. I think it's going to be a wild one. Craig, that is very good information. That I did not know. I will be looking forward to that, because this will assist in creating alternative builds, and it might actually incentivize me to go get a second last dagger in case I need one for a specific task. However, if I have to re-roll the cores and things, they may as well just give me a customization page for my cores, which would work really nicely. Hello, Knife Show. Welcome, everybody. Being cored already is fine, but I'm pretty sure I'll have to re-roll the cores, right? So I'll have to re-roll the second one to the configuration that I want. I'm pretty sure every character gets arcade tuning. Now, I have not visited Jaybird, but I'm pretty sure he has arcade tuning. Now, that is just weird if Jaybird doesn't, okay? Yeah, re-rolling the cores would be problematic. I would rather they just didn't, because look, I don't want my inventory filled with dozens of copies of weapons. This is just bloat, you know? So, not 100% happy with that. I can certainly say it's not the ideal thing. Well, Michael, it'll depend on what his farming speed is when he drops. As it is, we already know that he's slower than everybody else. If his new Transcendent modules are good, we'll see that. But, again, it has to be an apples-to-apples comparison, which I will do day one, as I always do. And we'll see apples to apples if he's any good. No, you probably don't need a binder, from what I've heard at least. But either way, like I said, inventory bloat is also not good. It would have just been nice if they just had 3 pages for each weapon, like they've done everywhere else. Then you can just choose your core setup. Hello indeed. I don't much care about Descendant stories. I want to see them advance the main story. That's what's important to me. Hopefully, they do. I know it's not going to be in this update, but I would like them to do it in their subsequent update. Hopefully, they don't simply drop dynamic motion. And I think they should scale Blair up, because, you know, everybody's talking to me about, have you seen Keelan? He's so good. I'm like, who made the original Keelan build when everyone wouldn't even look at him? Oh, that's right, it was freaking me. And who's the one that actually plays him on stream? Oh, right, that's freaking me. You know, these people don't even tune into my streams. They're asking me about Keelan, acting like they discovered something. Like, homie, you're talking to the original guy who made the damn build. Of course I know what Keelan can do. So, it disappoints me that people still are acting like Keelan's a recent discovery. Y'all, they didn't even look 2 seconds at him back when Ines was you know, the champion, now all of a sudden it's like,
This is hound actual to all
What's a cube?
personnel. Void storm is
Like, bro, I've been playing this guy since the
Conditions
original.
are unfavorable. Proceed with caution. Over.
Humans always find a new way to disappoint me.
Damn it. My shield's down. Boom.
I think you will. That's what another viewer mentioned already, which I think is the case.
Blasted out of the sky.
Shield's broken.
What the? Did y'all see that? My Keelan got stuck. What the hell? Okay, that was legendary.
My shield's down. Shield's down. I'll kill you all. You can't run away. Too slow. Shield's broken. Damn it. My shield's down. Damn it. This is your end.
For me, it'll depend on how difficult it is to farm these new components. I'm glad that they're introducing more, but many of their component sets are completely unused.
With
It'll certainly be more of a pain to find the two stats that you want, but I hope that they will understand the concerns of the public. But did people bring it up that they still want to reroll reactors? Because I think people need to start making noise. You know, I don't know who they're listening to, but it seems to me like they don't know what reaction the public's going to have, when we already know the reaction that the public is going to have because we conduct polls. So I think people should start making their voices heard in the official Discord. If you guys are worried about the reactor re-rolling, then now would be a great time to start piping up about it. You know? Start telling them that, hey, this is something we want. Make sure you're not going back on your word, or else I have to go back on you. You know? Wait, where's the enemy? I couldn't spot the last guy, lol.
move. I'll snuff them up. This is your end. Okay. Too slow. Move. Crumble. You can't run away. Move. I'll snuff the life.
Yeah, the problem is the test group is probably made up of the most hardcore people that they have, which is not good. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard about the all-new leaderboard rewards, which we already said was a bad idea the first time they implemented it. Because I've seen the official Discord, and it's literally filled with, like, only the hardcore players. The casuals don't really have a voice in there. So, I don't know. Kind of worried about that.
Good work, Descendant.
No, you're right about that, William. That I'm okay, but, you know, we'll have to see what people want at the end of the day. I think that the biggest worry for me personally is if they really, really want to go hard on this speedrunning focus for the game, which I think people are not too happy with already. As it is, people seem to want the game to be more substantial rather than fast speedruns, which is fair enough, but, you know, based on the direction that the devs are going, the devs appear to consider more speedrunning rather than, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Very, very odd, very, very weird, but I mean, you know, if they've got their metrics, then sure. Let's see how it goes for them. To me, as long as it brings in more players, I'm all for it. which is okay. That is something I want to see happen. Well, yes and no, Brendan. Most hardcore streamers don't actually make enough money. I just want to throw this out there. Quite frankly, streamers like myself usually make the most. Because, and it's been this way for several other games as well. I want to tell you guys an old story. Now, I don't let people talk about this game because this game has the most racist community on the planet, but there used to be a Monster Hunter clone called Dauntless. I used to create content for that game. In fact, it was the game that first got me my partnership with YouTube, because it was just, at the time, I was one of the few content creators in the scene. So I played that game, and what happened was that there were dozens of other creators, you know, all doing their thing in that game. But everybody seemed to tune in more to my content than anybody else's. Why was that the case? It was because I focused on the average player rather than the speedrun. And, you know, it doesn't matter even if somebody was #1 on the leaderboard, unless people actually viewed their content or cared about it, because at the end of the day, they came to realize that a lot of these people simply, you know, as much as they like to pretend that they are legit, they aren't legit. Let's take a look at Monster Hunter Wilds with their leaderboards for the arena timings. They can't even police that. Do you know how many cheaters are on that leaderboard? Literally, I have seen people say anywhere between 80% of the timings on that leaderboard are cheaters. Now, I don't know and I don't believe it because I don't look at the leaderboard. All I did was get my A rank. I didn't care about my timing. As long as it was enough to get A rank for the reward, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. You know? So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. And I think that if genuinely they want to go in the direction of leaderboards, they're going to suffer from the same problems that other games suffer from. And I think that that is something they need to be prepared for. If they really want to do it, then they're going to have to really police that leaderboard. For me, I've told my people I'm not going to participate in the leaderboard unless I get to see every single build and replay of the top timings so I can determine whether it's legit, because I'm going to build the same thing and audit it. But if they're not going to give me that functionality, I will simply not play. Because if I cannot audit the best builds, like, I don't mind if there's a skill gap. A skill gap between me and the top player, absolutely, fine. I can accept that. But if I build the same thing and can get nowhere near their time, even replicating the same actions, which I will literally train myself to do, then it means that there's something not legit.
Proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
And
You can't run away.
Astik Kari. What do I think of a way to promote more multiplayer modes? It's not that people play mostly single player, it's that there's no incentive to play multiplayer. The rewards, whether you play in a group or a team, are the same, and quite frankly, when you play solo, you can control everything by yourself. So how fast you go is based on your own skill and, of course, your build. Hey, CG, good to see you, by the way. So I think that that's the reason most players will end up playing solo, because there's just no reason or need for them to ever play in co-op, because there's no incentive. Whether I choose to play in co-op or solo, my rewards are the same. If they, well, view build better be the whole build, Sento. I don't want just the mods or something, no. I better be able to see the whole ass build. Alright, if I can see the whole ass build, then fair enough, you know? I will happily audit my stuff.
Show's down. You can't run away. Damn it. My shield's down.
As long as I can audit the top builds, I will do so. But if I cannot audit the top builds, I refuse to participate. Jake White, I haven't played that game in months, so I ask you kindly, can you please respect the game that I'm currently playing? Alright, it's kind of disrespectful if you say I came back for a different game. In which case, I'll have to say, good sir, you might want to leave. Please do not ever mention that game here, alright? I mentioned it in context, but if you ever mention that game here, you will be thrown out. Mr. NA2 Study. As you can see, I still get trolls from that game coming to my channel constantly. That's why I say I never talk about it. It is literally the most racist community on the planet. Mr. Jake, it's my stream and my rules, so if I say it's disrespectful, it is disrespectful. Alright? If you're not here for TFD, then, you know, I ask kindly that you leave. If you are here for TFD, then you can happily chat about that. But please do not declare that you came back for a different game, alright? I'm currently focusing on what I'm supposed to focus on. So let's all be respectful of that. Anyway, coming back to the topic at hand. And the new Void Erosion Purge mode, look, people like medals and things like that. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, you know? Well, fingers crossed, Brendan. I really do hope that they listen to the casuals, because I don't even think there are that many streamers anymore that are playing that many hours per day. And if they are,
Descendant,
then, well,
air support
good luck
is
to them.
standing by.
I don't think they
On
will
your
do very
signal,
well.
will initiate suppressing fire. Look out above.
Sorry, what do you mean harder Vespers?
You can't run away.
What is harder Vespers?
Crumbling. Move.
Now listen, Blackout, nothing wrong with that. Go ahead. If you want to challenge the leaderboard, challenge the leaderboard. But for me personally, I don't want to. Until I can audit the builds, I will not challenge it. Because there's no point. I am quite tired of leaderboard challenges in most games being illegitimate. Like I said, if people are willing to cheat in Monster Hunter, which is a game that is literally hundreds of times our size, you really think they're going to be able to police this leaderboard? I don't think so. Like, that's not shade toward the devs. Quite frankly, I just know how difficult it is. Because it's quite difficult. So, yeah. Even if you do that, Aztec, nobody's going to want to play that mode because, quite frankly, you need rewards to incentivize people. People will only do stuff if they get rewarded for it.
This is your red. My shield's down. Crumbling.
I don't understand the relation that has King Velasquez with Vespers, but either way, any of the challenge modes, yeah, they will be interesting. I'm okay with challenging game modes. That is not a problem for me.
Transport inbound. See you soon.
Well, I should hope so, because that's what most people want. They want more challenging game modes. But, like I said, again, the only thing is that if it comes with leaderboards, well, they either police it very well or it's not going to go very well. I mean, it's their choice at the end of the day, but yeah. Exactly. They need to make rewards for group play far better than solo play. That's the main thing. Right now, everybody's going to play solo because what's the point in playing with other people? I get the same rewards. And it's not like I need friends. I have you guys. I have tons of friends in my chat, so I'm chill, right? Well, Brendan, it's because, again, like I said, I think they made a bit of a U-turn because the people that are most vocal are not the casuals, because you see, the casuals don't have time to be vocal. The casuals are busy, you know, having their jobs and their lives and everything else like that. Like me personally, I've been pushing myself so hard working on music, and John knows how tired I've been because I go night after night after night. I've been lacking sleep to the point that I actually had a minor collapse today because, you know, I had to take a day off from releasing music, which I had planned to release every single day. You know, I just couldn't. My body couldn't take it. So when you're listening to the kind of people that will spend 14 to 16 hours on a single game, you know, that is going to be a problem. That is going to be a huge, huge problem. And that is what the majority of the people in that Discord are made up of. You've got the extreme newbies who are just looking for help and haven't discovered a YouTube channel yet, as well as those that are just hardcore. And the hardcore sort of rule that place. Like I said, I was in there for a little while the other day on some other business, and I was just looking at the chat, observing it without interacting, and I was like, my god, this is a terrible place to be. Because everybody was all like, oh, I could still use Ines in the hardest levels of VP. I'm like, but why? You know? It's crazy. It's nutty. And if that's the voices that the devs are hearing, then of course the casuals are going to get drowned out, which is wrong. It's sad. It's exactly what happened with a game that I no longer wish to mention. It's exactly what happened with that game. You know, all that was left in their Discord, and guess what's happening to that game? After holding on for several years, they're shutting down.
Oh, snuff it.
I mean, they deserve it, but yeah. A mini collapse. But anyway, higher up, we're not here to discuss my personal stuff, right? Let's keep focus on the topics. Thank you for your concern, though. But anyway, let's not deviate from our current topic because I don't want any deviation from this. I feel that this is a very important this is a very important topic that we need to stick to it. All right. Right now, we are in a situation whereby we need more players in this game to take an interest in this game. That is what will continue to keep the game running, because don't forget, unless every single one of those hardcore people are dropping 3,000-4,000 on this game every month, that's not even going to be enough to cover dev salaries with the current player base that we have. Do people even have anything to spend 3,000-4,000 on per month? I'm not so sure about that. So we need casual players. We need more players in general to keep the lifeblood flowing. All right? And that's not even covering dev salaries. Let's talk about covering even server costs and things like that, although those won't be that expensive. Right? The battle pass is like literally once every 3 months. That is beyond me to explain, Rob. You'll have to ask the devs that question. I'm live at the same time every day, Rosie March. No, it really wasn't, William. And I get the need for challenge, but again, there must be a balance. And right now, I think people are feeling unbalanced, you know? Especially with the so-called backlash of the Ines nerf, which they are feeling right now. What did they think was going to happen? Realistically speaking, I want to know what their thought process was in determining what would happen when they nerfed the so-called casual option. As much as the hardcores cried about it, we already saw that it did not do very much for the game. Now, player numbers will vary, and we at the very least, one positive thing is that we sort of found our base. I'm hoping that the player numbers won't dip below 8,000, which we seem to be holding on Steam, okay? Of course, our total player count is closer to 20k, which is really good, but that includes console and all the like, so if we just look at Steam alone for the trends, if we can hold at least 8,000 going into the rest of the season, then we're in a good spot.
Extraction from Operation Zone initiated. Good work, Descendant.
Well, Rob, I mean, if you feel it's irrelevant, then, you know, that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion, but I think others may not. Yeah, I think respectfully, some people are into that. Now, I personally interact with real human females on a regular basis, so I'm okay. Whether they have it or don't have it, it's completely irrelevant to me. I mean, look, I've watched enough manly 18+ anime to know exactly where this conversation's going, but as you know, I'm required to run a clean stream, so obviously we're not going to delve too deep into that topic. But that being said, I can understand why some people might be into it, and of course, the fact is some people may spend more because of it. But on the other side of the spectrum, it is this is also supposed to be a game, and that means that they have to cater to gamers who may not be entirely interested in that. So they have to strike a balance, and I hope that they do. No problem, John. I'll catch you later. And the person who mentioned community service for playing in a group, yes, you're absolutely right, Trick. Community service is one of the great reasons to play in a group, and I do agree with it. You know, I do actually agree with it as something that some people should do if you find the need for it. Most of the time, I'm just testing and pushing Descendants to the limits, so I'm always solo, but, you know, yes, community service is a great reason to play co-op. However, I find that it's not the main reason, and very few people actually take up that mantle, unless there's a need, like, to do it, or if they're bored and have nothing better to do, they want to make some friends, they might go do some community service. And sometimes it's also negatively received, which can, you know, turn people off, because people will be like Lewis said, you know, people will be like, why are you going so fast? Slow down, you know, where, don't go so fast with Keenan, you know. I think the concern, by the way, William, I understand that it is optional. Actually, not so sure if it is, but I have understood something like it is going to be optional. But okay, what I do want to say is that the core I think the core of the issue is not whether it's optional or not, but rather it's about the reputation of the game and what kind of people it attracts. As you guys know, we are already sort of known as the Gunner Warframe, right? So people are already dealing with that reputation when they say, oh, what game do you play? TFD, oh, the Gunner Warframe? You know, they kind of get into that kind of conversation, which is understandable. And of course, many games embrace the fact that they are catering toward that audience. But is that the kind of audience that we ultimately want to attract? Because some people have expressed their concern that when that is the case, most people are trying to play one-handed. It's for the same reason that a game like Nikke is known for, you know, being able to be played one-handed. Alright? Those of you who know, you know. I was introduced to it by my friends who I didn't know about it. And when I went to lunch with them in January, when I went to lunch with my Singapore boys, they said, you heard about Nikke? And I said, no, what's this Nikke? So I checked it out and whoa mama. Okay, so that was what it was. Also by a Korean company though. I think it was Shift Up, the ones who did Stellar Blade. And Stellar Blade as well, also, if I'm not wrong, has those kinds of things. But they need good gameplay to complement that if it wants to forge its own identity, which is what I believe TFD is sorely lacking right now. I didn't watch the live stream. I only read the highlights, so that's why I'm getting you guys to tell me what you think. Yes, that one I'm aware of, Alex. The devs did say that gameplay and aesthetics are completely different teams, so there are teams already working on content.
Transport inbound. See you soon.
Stellar Blade is a very solid game, at least as much as I've heard. I've never played it, but I have heard that its reputation for being a great game is there. People seem to be able to look past all the sultry outfits and whatnot, and it seems to have its own identity as a game. This is what we are lacking, you know? Gregory, look, I'm gonna wait to judge him when he's, I'm gonna wait to judge him when he is out in the actual game. So if that's the case, then that is probably what I will do. But for me personally, I don't feel it's going to be good unless his new Transcendent modules are fantastic. So yeah, we'll see. Well, that dev might be very proud of his work. Developer livestream was over a long time ago, pal. But you can watch it back on their YouTube channel if you want. From an objective standpoint, Octane, Ines would still be a faster farmer. No problem, Alex. Yeah, but speed, CG, speed. We will still need to compare him. His speed must improve. If his speed does not improve, I don't care what his modules can do. I want to see a farming speed on par. On par with at least Keelan. Okay, maybe not Keelan, but if I'm more than 20 seconds slower than Keelan, then there's no point. Like, that to me is just going to be another failure. Because Ajax is already like only a minute slower than Keelan, and he's supposed to be a tank. Yeah, so that's exactly the big problem. I want to see that. Go back to meetings after saying that.
You can't run away.
Of course, and that's why I think they better reconsider their Serena nerf real fast. But even if there is controversy, here's the thing. The thing is, they need to establish their baseline. And they have. But now it's a matter of how many players they can afford to lose. Because either they stick with their guns or they flip-flop. If they flip-flop, it's not going to look good. Because, you know, then you have this nerf to Nest that everyone's saying, oh, you didn't nerf Serena, but you nerfed a Nest. So you can't satisfy everybody. They need to pick a story and stick with it.
Mission complete.
Lord Rain? I do not know. We'll have to wait until they're actually in the game for me to make a judgment. I'm just listening to what the information I'm getting for you guys. I have no further information. Well, I hope their communication is damn good, because I don't think it's gonna be, you know, I don't think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I do understand that she does need a nerf. You know, one of the biggest misunderstandings is that people always think that I'm against nerfs or that I, you know, just want everything to be overpowered. No, not really. But I'm just very, very consumer aware, or rather customer aware, because I know who their customer base is and I know exactly what they're thinking. Well, Matt, nobody should be buying anything in this game. Like I already said, anything that can be farmed should be farmed. The only thing you should buy are skins. That being said, even for me, I am not looking forward to purchasing a lot of skins right now because I don't feel that they have earned it yet. They do need to earn my dollars again, so I do want to see it. It will depend on how they do the nerf, but yes, William, I think it's going to be something very, very difficult to control, to be perfectly frank. Anything, if they give her just a light slap on the wrist, it'll seem like too little,
Descendant,
and the so-called hardcores will cry tears of blood for all eternity.
Descendant, we've confirmed a large-scale Vulgus transfer. Attack their deployment.
Boom.
Nah, funny skins are okay. I don't mind that, you know. The corn skin is okay with me. I'm not gonna buy it, but it's okay with me. Like I have the really ugly snowman skin, so it's not like I don't have that. But cuter skins like the dinosaur pajama party, which they had in the preseason, or the panda one, which I have for everybody. Now those would be pretty cool.
You can't run away. This is your end.
I might do a on-stream goal for the corn skin, in future if people want, like if it's for both male and female. If I have to buy them separately for male and female, I probably won't do that. But if I don't, you know, then hell yeah. I might do a stream goal where I'll purchase it and wear it. It is very corny. You know, in a world of dynamic motion, love the wording, by the way. In a world of dynamic motion, I do believe that sometimes you need a little corn.
My shield's down.
Well, yes. Also, Blair's current problem anyway, Lewis, you know, you're absolutely right about that. It is the range of his skills that is the issue. That, I think, is the biggest problemo, in my personal opinion. But if they are willing to take a step to resolve it, then maybe they can start shifting their baseline a bit upward. That's what I'm hoping that they'll learn to recognize. Because while I'm not assuming that every character is going to be awesome as heck, you know, if you start having characters that have a farming difference of 1 or 2 minutes, you know, especially with when this whole game seems to be speed run focused, I think players are not going to have a great time, and that's not where we want to be. You know, we want some balance, don't we? Goofy and cute does sell well. No lie in that statement. It's true.
Shield's broken. You can't run away.
I don't see myself wearing it either. Like I said, I'll set up a joke goal or something, and I'll say, okay, if we get like, you know, if we meet the goal, then I will actually go and purchase the corn skin or something like that, you know? Something like that. I don't mind doing that. And listen, Knife Show, most people, as long as they follow my channel, won't be able to make a good build. I mean, that's natural, right? But at the end of the day, there's also people who just don't know how to build out there. So the nerfing of the content appears to be more toward the casual crowd trying to make sure that they get, you know, what they need. Or so it seems, but, you know. I will look forward to seeing the new sets in action, but I'm kind of worried that we've got too many external component sets. Can't even tell what's good and what's not good anymore. Now it's just literally Slayer Annihilation. Occasionally you may need something else, but eh. Taking a look at the polls so far, we've had 112 votes. 53% said the Delve livestream was good. 24% were not impressed with it. 15% are very thirsty, and 8% want the corn skin, which is lovely. Well, of course, my work is the best there is.
Proceed with caution.
For the average player. Of course, I'm sure many of you will go beyond me at some point, which is cool.
My shield's down. This is your red. Oh, snuff it, mother. You can't run away. Too slow. Shield's down. Move. Shield's broken.
No, Knife Show. They are the best. The best starting point. In fact, for most, they are the end point as well. But some may want to go beyond. However, going beyond mind is usually specialization at that point. In which case, you will sacrifice something in order to do something else better.
My shield's down. This is your red.
I will not accept anything less than greatest human being on the planet, okay? Remember that. The corn skin, it's something that'll be coming together with Ultimate Blair. And do I think Ultimate Blair is going to crush all the other male descendants in damage? Ha, Justin. I love your positive enthusiasm, but no, he is currently the slowest male descendant when it comes to farming. Well, maybe not the slowest. I think Jaber is still slower, but I haven't tested out Jaber, so I don't know yet. But his farming speed is nowhere near Keelan, so is he going to crush everybody else? Nah. Unless, like I said, when on release his Transcendent modules are the best in the game, then maybe. But I don't think so.
We need it to purify the void energy.
Well, Knife Show, if you believe that, then get the hell out of my stream. If thou do not worship me, then thou do not belong here. Leave. So rude. I don't think Eugen is that slow, especially not with proliferating allergy. If he's solo, I'm pretty sure he can do some pretty good damage. The thing about damage, though, is that damage is not a good indicator of a build, Gregory. So forgive me for saying this. I'm aware that he can deal a lot of damage, and he already was able to deal a lot of damage even in the past. Now it's just crazier. But what you gotta understand is that damage is, for the most part, irrelevant, because what matters is your kill speed. So you can deal a lot of damage, especially because there's overkill damage in this game. So let's say I dish out like okay, let's just, as an example, I dish out 10 million damage on a random trash mob. It will still record 10 million damage for that kill. But in actuality, the mob may have only, say, 300,000 hit points, so any other descendant can also squash that mob without needing the 10 million damage. So because of that, I don't use damage as an indicator. Then in that case, Knife Show, you better not say anything about your builds being better, okay? You keep that to yourself. Keep that silent. The only thing you will say here is that your robot overlord is the best and everybody must worship me and kiss my feet. Or else I will not forgive their sins on Judgment Day, okay? And I'll write some, like, random book of awesomeness or whatever and be all like, you know, If you don't rest on the 3rd day, because I randomly chose the 3rd day or whatever, okay, you'll all be sinners and go to hell. I'm doing okay, HP Notebook. I look forward to seeing his new modules, but again, I want to compare his speed. Like day 1, I'm going to do a comparison to Bunny after I finish his stuff. Well, we don't know for sure, Chris. So responding to Chris on TikTok, we don't know for sure because I haven't come to grips with his Transcendent modules. When I get to see the new Transcendent modules in action, I mean, that'll be the time, you know? I don't know yet, B. Ramsey. I'm asking for you guys' thoughts because I didn't watch the live stream, so I don't know what will happen. And either way, when I look at the live streams, I don't really get a good feeling for stuff. I like to test it myself. Right now, normal Blair is much, much slower than all other Descendants, so his ultimate version, because of the new modules that it will have, could change that. In which case, I need to actually see that. So that's what I want to see when he actually drops in the game, because there's no point in making a judgment now, you know?
This is Hound Action, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not
Well,
exceed
pretty
your
much, yeah,
limits.
Taboo. Like, any build can be made to do something specifically. It just depends on what you want that specific thing to be. You can also always trade up certain conveniences. Like, for example, if I feel that I've got more than enough cooldowns, like, just an example right now, I could up my Keelan's power by going power increase, which would be pretty darn awesome if I ever wanted to. But I realized that I prefer the convenience of just being able to go ham-tacular. So, yeah. Blair's casting animations have needed to be faster for a very long time. I'm kind of disappointed that they aren't. So, yeah. I want Blair very, very badly to be a lot better than he is. I am somewhat disappointed
Arcane life signs detected inside a vault.
in the current standards that we have, because it just doesn't feel fair. All right, you ask me, it's just not fair. I think that they done him dirty, you know, and they shouldn't have.
This is your ramp. Too slow. Shield's broken. Move. Too slow.
Now, I'm not expecting, like I said, I'm not expecting Blair to compete with Keelan. In truth, I mean, Ajax can't even compete with Keelan. And it's not because Ajax has less skill power or anything. FYI, Keelan can literally fly. How are you going to compete with this? Think about it for a second. Keelan can quite literally freaking fly. So how exactly do you compete with a Descendant that can fly through the air and annihilate your entire enemy company like that? Like, you know, it's kind of hard to compete with that. So I'm not expecting, like, every Descendant to be, you know, completely competitive with one another. And a Descendant that can continuously keep up 50% movement speed, you know, like old Ines could, or the pre-nerfed Ines could, is not really a good base either. Hey, Martin. Well, yeah, I did hear about that, Martin. I just hope that it will improve his farming speed, that's all. As long as his farming speed improves, I'm fine. If it doesn't, then ugh. And Rob, because, well, he's a healer, so I don't think he really has a place here. I'm sure Eugen does deserve some love, but he won't be getting it from me, that's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at Keelan's mobbing build right now and see where he's at. I did want to adjust a couple of things, see if I could tweak and change. Now, if I take out focus on toxic, just as an example, alright, and I were to put an M slot in here, just because I want to see what'll happen. And then now we put power increase up there. What is my total cooldown from max? Okay, so I am like 5.5. It's literally 5.5. Oh, so literally 5. So what am I looking at here? It's 8.3. Now, if I were to take this out and put in some toxic, this goes down to 5.5. The difference is stark. This is 3.5. So without that, yeah, 8.3, 5.3. Yeah, it's kind of hard to give that up. I do want additional power, but it's just not worth it. So that's going to be it. I could also, instead of multi-talented, I could go technique manual, I guess, if I really, really wanted to. That would also be a possibility. Because technique manual, unsurprisingly, does a lot. But I feel that Keelan can make better use of multi-talented, so I'll keep multi-talented for now. Now, mobile strike does give me a nice duration on this, and I can trigger it every 5.5, so what's the damage change? I do lose some damage on this, but I'm very interested in checking it for bossing. Very, very interested, because I could theoretically use this for bossing. I'll check it out for bossing a little later. Well, if it filled the screen, I don't mind it if it can kill everything on the screen, as long as his farming is fast, man. That's all I'm really hoping for. His farming fast, I'm happy. His farming not fast, I'm unhappy. I should shove that into his storage, and I will. When update next week. Doing good, 3D. Just chilling, talking with the audience. You know, doing the usual polling. Also, don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already. Alright, the more of you that like the stream, the better. So please do. But yes, I am interested in seeing what they've come up with Blair. And we will only know the result next week, but I will look forward to it.
Descendant.
Well, first of all, Taboo, we don't use tiers here because tiers are stupid. As I've said before, I don't look at tiers because they are literally subjective measures, and every person's going to have a different rating, a different tier list, so I don't use them. I feel that they only limit people's creativity. So please forgive me, but we don't use tier systems here. I only have 2 criteria, efficient, inefficient. So I'm hoping that his Transcendence will turn him efficient, but if he's not, then, well, I will say that in my explanations as well. Of course I've got Serena Callie. I literally made 3 builds for her on my channel. You might want to check them out. Everybody and their grandmother should have Serena. She only takes about 5 hours to farm, thankfully. Very, very easy. Well, if you've already got my builds. Make sure you have my builds on my YouTube channel. I don't mind the lore, but I want them to advance the main story, Rosie, because that's my biggest problem right now. Well, Callie, why haven't you been following my builds is the most important question. These questions are something I'm very curious about. Because there's no such thing as a bad player. All you gotta do is follow the right builds. So please make sure you do. I don't know if they'll reverse it, but I think that they should be Ramsey, because quite frankly, I feel like they've alienated a large part of their player base. However, I also have to say that for the sake of fairness, All right. Their player base has not yet resumed a dropping trend. So I don't 100% know if balance is the right way to go. I personally am for balance, but it does not appear to have resulted in the change that they wanted.
Descendant. The transport has dropped a wide range.
So I would like to ask, how were like the Ines complaints a lot during the dev live stream?
Prime the detonator with your arcade.
Because how severe were the complaints, and you know,
This is your end.
what are we really looking at? Like, was it everybody complaining, or was it just a small group of people with the same names complaining? I think that matters, because you can have one very vocal guy in chat looking like there's a lot of complaints, but it's just one guy that's talking a lot. Or there could be quite a few people talking, but, you know, is it a vast majority, or are most people satisfied? Because looking at the poll right now, about 52% of people are satisfied. So, granted, that's not a big majority like we all often have. But, yeah, it's interesting to note that, you know... Okay, so that is a fairly big number. That's fair. Okay. Well, I don't know if they will reverse it. But I think that they need to understand their player base better. Because once you give somebody something, you can't take it away. That's the issue. Once you give somebody something, you cannot take it away from them. Okay, fair enough. I mean, even if it's the same people spamming, as long as they all have different names, Martin, then I would still count it. So, yeah, I mean, if there are at least enough different names doing it, then maybe there is some truth there, you know? Ines players lashing out. I feel sorry for the devs, truly, but again, they should have known their player base a little better. Or stick with their guns. Either way, like, look, for me... I think they just need to pick a direction and go with it. Good or bad, that's irrelevant. You see, when you pick a direction and go with it, people have more confidence in your game. If you flip-flop, it shows weakness. So I hope that whatever they decide to do, whether they revert the changes or not, they need to stick with it. Once they pick a story and a side, they gotta stick with it, no matter what. You know? You don't get a second chance with that. Evil Formally, we're not here to argue that. We're just talking about what happened during the live stream. So if you don't mind, all right, please don't bring that Ines debate to my stream. It's not even something we debate here. Save that for the official Discord or for Reddit, okay? We're not here to discuss that.
Oh my.
Well, they did initially in the early seasons. All right, they did initially in the early seasons because that was their whole prerogative. They stated in the original Season 0 that they had a zero nerf policy because what they don't want is a situation where people find overpowered builds and then get them nerfed into the ground. They wanted us to lean into the power fantasy, and we did. But then they suddenly reversed directions and took it away because, again, it appeared as if the most hardcore players, which make up their playtest group, appear to be complaining. Now, that causes an issue for me because I'm thinking to myself, then why have the playtest group at all? The focus group needs to consist of people from completely different backgrounds, all of whom represent different portions of the player base. This is the first real concern I had about a player focus group, because are they getting enough diversity in their player base? Because sure, you can have a couple of hardcores in there, but you also have to hear the voices of the casuals, and it seems to me that they've skewed their focus testing group to only the hardcore players who are hyperactive in Discord, you know, maybe friends with mods, things like that. I wouldn't know. I'm not in that group. And either way, I wouldn't have the time for it, considering how much content I work on for all these different games and such. But, you know, we really got to think. We really got to think carefully.
I'll snuff them right. You can't run away.
I don't disagree, Gregory, but here's the problem. Like I said, when you give people a toy and then you suddenly take that toy away, they are well within their rights to be upset about it. Because you gave them that, they invested time in it. Even if they didn't invest money, they still invested time. And then, you know, there you go. They say that now, Knife Show, but we all know, and look, let's drop all pretense here for a second. We all know that it's gonna be down to what Big Daddy Nexon says. Magnum Studios can only do so much, but ultimately their goal is to ensure profits keep rolling. They need to make that happen. So if they want profits to keep rolling, it means, you know, hot skins to go with dynamic motion. Let's all be honest about that. Hot skins to go with dynamic motion, and they need to satisfy their player base. If it turns out that a lot of people just want their power fantasy and spending lessons in the next content drop or whatever, as it already has, because a lot of people aren't feeling the confidence to invest in characters when they know that tomorrow it might not be the same, you know, then, oh man, this is OP, therefore I better not build it. Like, it creates this negative cycle that hurts profits. And once you start hurting profits, you know who's gonna be mad.
Too slow.
I agree, Sento. That is something that has been a big problem for many video games, and in fact, many players of other video games do talk about it all the time. The pro players appear to be the only ones catered to, players with unbelievable amounts of skill, which Marvel Rivals, thankfully, is not doing. That's what keeps the game strong for now. You know, if they start catering to a pro scene and start leaning only into the whole esports category, then we're gonna have an issue. Well, any Descendant can be savage if you use my build, but at the same time, so I should probably say it more this way. Any Descendant can be as efficient as Loud using my build. You can reach maximum efficiency, and at that point, you know, all you can do is specialize more, which you're more than welcome to do. I'm sorry, I have not experimented with Balbi, so I don't know yet, Cat. I plan on taking a look at her after I'm done with Keelan and a couple of the others. Which will be very soon, but yeah, not so soon.
Mission complete. Transport inbound.
Still slowly, painfully working my way through this guy. Grab a little more skill power for him. Sorry, William. Forgive my lack of knowledge, but what do you mean by the yellow paint? But yes, at the coming back to the previous topic, look, players just don't want their investment in skill, time, whatever, taken away from them. And when you do that, they're not going to be happy. Understandably so. And ideally, when a balancing change like this occurs, what needs to happen, realistically speaking, what needs to happen is that
This is HQ.
the balancing
Troops
change
are on
must
the ground.
bring back more
Transport
players than it
Valkyries to
alienates.
standby
This
position.
did not happen this time.
Best of luck, Descendant.
Because as much as they buffed these characters, and yeah, Keelan's fun, you know, like he's fast and all that, but he's still not faster than an S. You know?
This is your rent.
We can do some comparisons after this. But, and I'll happily showcase it because I gotta do a bit of farming anyway. But yeah, for me, Keelan has his role, he has his purpose, but he's certainly not going to be the big kahuna. Okay, he's not Humunga Dunga over here.
Move. Crumbling. Show's broken.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Thank you, both Taboo and William, for explaining it to me. The so-called yellow paint, if you don't mind me asking, could you please elaborate on how it applies in a TFD context? Like, what are you trying to say? But thank you for explaining it. Now my knowledge has increased, so if anyone says yellow paint in future, I at least get what they're saying. Thank you. Keelan's just a fast guy that, you know, charges. I never played Mass Effect, so yeah. I mean, more than a couple of people were complaining. I don't think it was a few people. Based on what I've heard, there was a lot of people complaining. I had a couple of my folks take a look at what was going on my behalf. As you know, I usually never do because I'm busy at the time. But yeah, I had a couple of people take a look at it, and it was kind of wild. You see, Gregory, it's great to have most characters on the same level, but there must also be variety in gameplay. It's a tough thing to match, and quite frankly, that's why I think that no game no matter how hard you try, will ever be balanced. That being said, yes, of course, 2 outliers isn't really good. But I feel that sometimes the best kind of balance is also a lack of balance. What makes Marvel Rivals fun is that, you know, quite frankly, some characters are pretty imbalanced. But that's a huge part of the fun, you know? So, I find it all very interesting. Ah, I understand now, William. Thank you very much for enlightening me. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. I believe that right now, because of the so-called this yellow paint effect you guys are talking about, yes, it would appear, in my personal opinion, that many gamers no longer think for themselves. It's true. It is very true. They do not learn on their own, and rather they rely on other sources of information. I believe that to an extent this is also worsened by AI. Now, this might sound strange coming from a guy that does make AI music to begin with, but the over-reliance on AI and things like that as well have also just made people just very reliant on being spoon-fed a lot of things. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Taboo, as well, for helping me to understand the situation. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But yes, it is a big problem to an extent, but I also understand it from the other perspective that, look, people these days, they don't have a lot of time. You know, we live in a stressful society where you're trying to get everything done at once. You know, although I work from home, I have a work schedule to keep up with. And what's kind of crazy for me right now is that even my own family who lives in the same house, in general, if we have to plan anything, I have to say, look, guys, can we plan something 1 or 2 days in advance? Because if we do, then it would be a really big help to me, because then I can structure my work and my things all around that. You know, it's crazy that you'd have to do that when you live in the same house as people. But that's how nutty the current situation of life is, because I'm trying to make it as both a music producer as well as a streamer. It's not easy to juggle both. So yeah, it's a tough situation, and that, I think, has a lot of impact on why people rely on the yellow paint. When you're guided, the game feels a lot better for people that don't have a lot of time, and it takes the brain power away. And when they do have to spend brain power, the systems, if they're overly complex, just overload people and they just don't want to try. You know, that's kind of a big problem with TFD right now. We've got so many different systems and so many different ways of enhancing things that it becomes a problem. A more simplistic system of progression can sometimes be better as long as variety is catered to. But I think that the more and more systems that they introduce, the more and more complex it's going to be to fully build up a Descendant, to the point that sometimes you may not even know what you're lacking, you know, compared to another Descendant. You might be like, I have built exactly the same things, but it could just be one tiny factor somewhere that's gone off, and then there you go, you know, you're stuck, you're sunk. Like, that is something I would hate to happen here, but it may already be happening. If they start to introduce like so many systems of upgrading and things like that, oh, it's gonna be problematic. You're right about that as well, Adrian. Sometimes it's very hard to distinguish what you can interact with, and I myself in some games rely on the indicator for interaction because, dude, there's just so much everywhere, you know, it just looks like beautiful scenery to me. I don't know if I can touch it. In the older days, it was a lot easier to tell things apart, like, hey, this is secret, clearly, you know?
This is your end.
So it's good to see both sides of things, I believe. And it's nice that people are considering more than one perspective. You see, this is what a proper discussion should be like, which is why I'm wondering, why do these developers find it so difficult? It's almost like they're talking in a vacuum. Have you noticed that? Sometimes I genuinely feel like they appear to be talking in a vacuum whereby only certain voices are heard and every other voice is drowned out, which is not really very good. You know, realistically speaking, voices must be heard equally. Excuse me. Keelan was naturally always fast, but the arcade tuning has improved some of the skills, and of course the buff they gave him. Oh hell yeah, you know? I can't wait to try its bossing build.
This is your end. Shields down.
Captain Elias. Deploying arcade. I am the original.
This is your red. Too slow. Move. Changing mounts.
Yeah, I think B. Ramsey that honestly they need to slow down with releasing all these new things. They need to focus on content. I feel that what they need to focus on is not new systems. New systems just add to the grind, which I don't think people want. Find a bear. Well, right now I can only give my comment based on what little I've done of normal Blair, and yeah, he seems very, very mid indeed. So I'm not really looking forward to him. Hopefully I will assess the ultimate and I will farm the ultimate, of course, but I am not in any way, shape, or form super impressed. So I do have to say that I don't think he's gonna be all that great, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a wait and check kind of dealio. No, I don't watch the dev live streams at all, Kat. So don't worry. You guys can just tell me what you think. Because quite frankly, I like to see it in action with my own two eyeballs later on. And more importantly, I just don't have the time to watch the dev live streams. I am far too busy with my music and my own production. So I'm all good. I have pretty good people that just tell me what's going on, so I'm satisfied enough with that. This one I'll save for later. Could also be good. I don't think the purple weapons will ever be viable, and there's no need to make them viable anyway. The game is all about ultimates. Purple is just a quick supplement for the normal mode. So I don't believe that they should focus any time or energy into making them relevant. There's no point to them. I just have vestigial organ because it's the only one that's semi-relevant occasionally, but other than that, nah. Yeah, I did hear about that, B. Ramsey. I look forward to seeing them do that as well. I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun. Now, let me go and fetch a little something. I need these, funnily enough. So I'm gonna go grab them. And, you know, Ultimate Warlord, I'd say, look, investing in a character is very cheap if you just farm whatever you farm. You don't have to buy skins, but you can invest in it pretty easily. So I would say have fun with Serena before the nerf comes. Like others have already said, she is definitely good and worth your time. So go for it. Go for it. I agree. See you later, Tipu. Ali, I don't know. I haven't played Lepic, so sorry. Can't tell you.
You can't run away.
But I haven't really seen Lepic do anything special. There are many other characters that are much better, so I would suggest building those. Your choice, though. But yeah, I'm just here to farm some biogel. Can you believe that I actually, you know, I actually lost out on the biogel? Oh yeah, his mobbing build, his farming build, I'll update it soon. It's pretty much the same build anyway, but yeah, I'll update it soon. It's really good. And we are digging a grave for the game. Bro, I thought you liked the balancing changes though. I thought you were on the side of enjoying the balancing changes, Blackout. When did you become one of the digging a grave for the game type people? Although, you know, I can understand the perspective. I really do hope that they understand that at the end of the day, what we need for this game is very simple. We need more players to be playing it. We need players to become interested in this game. Well, of course the community would make noise. Like I told you, people aren't happy. You gotta make your community happy. The majority of your customers must be happy. That's the important thing. And right now, they have not made the majority of their customers happy, which is why they have problems. If you don't always make your customers happy, you know, your customers won't care, and they won't, you know, worry about whatever you want to do. They'll just be like, there's no point. And once they say that there's no point in playing your game, then they're not going to bother playing your game, and that's when you got a big problem. That's when you got a big issue. I can't believe I have to farm an outpost for freaking biogel. But you know, I had thousands of these back in the days when we used to need to farm outposts, which was long ago in the preseason. And ever since then, I have not actually bothered farming any of this biogel and stuff. But what's crazy is that now I'm like, holy cow, I'm actually out of biogel, which is nutty. You know, Market Day, that is very true. They do. I've seen them do it in the Discord, which is super sad. Well, it's true, Luca, but at the same time, when they tried to make the new player experience in normal mode a bit of a challenge, do you know what happened in the preseason? Everybody said it was too hard and quit anyway. So I think it has to become a bit of a walking simulator, because most of the casual players won't even stick with the game if they can't even get past the content. Heck, there's still some people that say, I don't know what to do when they're normal. So I'm like, okay, cool. Keelan can be pretty fun. Like I said, I'm just looking forward to seeing what his bossing build will look like, you know? I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, I heard that they're gonna put Ultimate Bunny in normal mode missions, which is interesting. Very interesting choice. But hopefully it'll play out well for them, because at the very least it's easier to tell people, hey, go get Ultimate Bunny first, instead of them saying, but it's an ultimate, I don't want to farm. Me. I would rather you just use them on Keelan B. Ramsey if you've got limited catalysts. But yeah, Keelan's definitely a solid choice. I would say he's a very good choice, and one that people need to pay attention to.
You can't run away. Boom.
I mean, he is the second fastest farmer. He's in the second. Well, sorry, he's not the second fastest farmer. I should say he's the third fastest farmer, roughly. Well, just follow my build. Well, the updated build, I'll drop it tomorrow. But yeah, I would say just follow my build and you're good to go, pretty much. But Keelan is a very easy Descendant to operate. It doesn't require any effort. I'm just gonna stay here until I get like 200 biogel, then I'll go elsewhere. And we'll do some other comparisons. How's it going, Maurice? It's going good. Can't really complain. Just sitting here talking with people, listening to people. Hey, by the way, guys, don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already, yeah? The more of you that like the stream, the better. Fair enough, Luca. But yeah, I think that, you know, they have done their best to help the new player experience as much as possible. I actually view their changes as good. It might be a bit of a walking simulator to those with some skills, but what you gotta understand is that the vast majority of people don't have any skills at all. And I think the devs are trying to react to what happened in the first place, where most players, they played the game and left because of difficulty. Like, they couldn't get past certain bosses and things like that. So yeah. I didn't watch the dev live stream at all, so I have no opinion on it. I'm just listening to what the people are saying about it. And also, you're lucky, Luca. Welcome to the best and only honest channel. We deal in giving everybody honest information and the best information to get through the game. Now, are we the fastest channel? No. And we're probably not going to ever top the leaderboard because I don't believe in that. But for the average player, this is the place to be. We'll give you all the tools you need. I'm pretty sure that's the outpost on the map, because the biogel, as far as I know, it only drops in the hard mode. Well, it also drops in normal mode, but hard mode is where I'm at. The only other place you can go is the void vessel. So yeah, this is literally where I'm at. I hope you will enjoy it, Jose. I don't know, Axiom. I don't know if they're removing it, but if they are removing it, then I don't know if anything will happen. Well, Finesse, like I said, the only thing that matters is kill time. So if he can become a viable farmer, okay. If he cannot become a viable farmer, then there's no point. Doesn't matter what they introduce, he still won't be viable. Looks are great. I don't disagree with looks. But I must see results. I want to see the actual. If I don't see actual results, then doesn't matter how cool he looks. Looks are one thing. People will play with something for looks for all of 5 minutes. And then once they find it a slog to go through missions, or they try to go through a mission with, say, another player, and they realize they are so much slower than them, it dampens their enthusiasm and they're not going to touch it again. That's why I don't care about looks. Looks are irrelevant. Results. Results is what matters. So I'll test him fairly, but he better be very impressive. If he cannot compete with, in my personal opinion, Keelan's farming time, or at least be only 20 seconds slower than Keelan, he's gonna have a problem. Well, Lord Rain, keep giving feedback in the official Discord. Maybe they'll change their minds. Maybe. You can pray and hope.
This is your red. Boom.
He's not decent at all, Panda. Right now, Blair is one of the slowest farmers in the game. Ajax is faster than Blair, FYI. If you don't believe me, go build a Blair build and go try my Ajax build. And you'll see Ajax be faster than Blair. It's crazy. Because Ajax is a 2-second cooldown. Just jump, bang, jump, bang, jump, bang. And he's just killing everything. Keelan, of course, way faster. So, when you've got this kind of inefficiency, it makes you not want to play the Descendant. Because you can only have so much fun until it becomes a chore. So, for me, I don't say decent, not decent. There's only two standards for me. Efficient, not efficient. If it's efficient, I'll run a build. I'll post up. Not efficient, I won't post up. I mean, B Ramsey, you can if you want to. I can understand the boredom for the average player as well, because unlike me, you're not looking at new content and things like that. And the fact that boredom is set in so early in the season is another big problem. You see, we've got 69 days left of the season, so all things considered, we're not in great shape. The new storyline was so hot for season 2, episode 2. I loved it. But it fizzled out really quickly because that's all it was. Just a little bit of awesomeness, and then that was it. That was the end, you know?
You can't run away. This is your rent. Move.
And they started the season 3 hype so early that it's like, bruh, they got a lot to work on for the season. So let's see how it goes. Fingers crossed. All I know is tomorrow I'll definitely be playing something different on stream. Just for fun. In the morning.
Move.
Kind of like that, B. Ramsey, yes. At the end of the day, I need to see fast kill times, that's all. If I can't handle 400% like all the other faster Descendants, there's no point. Okay. I think we've enough biogel for now. Alright, let's do some timing comparisons. Because a lot of people have asked about an S, about Bunny, things like that. So let's go do the Void Vessel. It's a very neutral environment. Let's play around, shall we? My home slices. My slices of home. Let's play around. Turn around. Tell me what you see. In her eyes, the mirror of your dreams. Okay, I think I'll start up here. Up top, we're gonna start with this. And here we will use this. That is fine where it is, and then this is also fine where it is. I could reduce skill cost if I really, really wanted to, I guess. But I don't much feel like taking an L on that. Okie dokie day. Ines. Now, you all know about my particular Ines style. This is the arcade tuning that I mentioned for Ines, all right? And of course, I think it's time that we gave her some deadly vibes. So let's return her to the original state. Nope, it wasn't that. There. Did I not have matte black? Why did I not have matte black? Oh, well, whatever. We'll just use the navy. And this one is it the color of the keychain? Can I have some gold on it? No, that's her shoes. Okay, so there we go. Keychain and straps. Shoes can remain same. Okay, yeah. There we go. MP recovery modifier skill enhance. Yeah, it does. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. And then for the back attachment, let's please have her usual devil wings. There we go. Okay, we're good. Like I said, we'll see what actually happens. But oh, you guys are seeing this, right? Jesus, look at this animation. Is her hand clipping through the magazine? Is her hand clipping through the magazine of my secret garden, this bullpup secret garden design? What is this? What is this clipping through? Oh my god, why? This kills the man. It wounds the man greatly. Greatly, I'm greatly wounded right now. I am being wounded internally in great and unfair ways. This kills me. I'm wounded. My spirit is broken. But anyway, ladies and gents, Inessa's hand lovingly clipping through the magazine right there. Lovely bullpup design right there. Hashtag sad. Okay, anyway, whatever. Acceptable. Right. It probably does, even for other descendants, hence the issue. Alright, anyway. Hello, Velma. You can stack sprint speed on any descendant, but the thing is, no matter how much you stack, he's still slow. And Blackout, I do agree, but they're continuously pushing speed with leaderboards, so what do you expect? Everything is going to be all about speed, man. Nobody's going to want to take their time because guess what? What does the leaderboard encourage? Speed. What do the people that support all the leaderboard runners encourage? Speed. So, at the end of the day, what's the deal? Speed. Right?
Launching void vessel exploration operation.
Okay, let's go check out the farming times. What we're going to measure right now is the farming time differential between Ines, Bunny, and Keelan in the void vessel. All right, because many people have been mentioning about speed and things like that. Okay, let's talk speed. All right, I like to talk speed. I don't think the average player does, but unfortunately, the hardcore player base does count for the most vocal player base, and they're the ones very concerned about leaderboards. They have even made it a dev priority to include rewards for leaderboards. I'm sure you've heard on the live stream. So, I mean, this, to me, would be a problem, right? But that's how it goes. Sorry, I was just testing something. Somebody complained to me that Ines can't open up those walls. Yeah, she can't with her first skill because no terrain collision, so it counts as an object. Lol. Cost me a few seconds, but it'll be fine. Well, David, that's a little too much doom and gloom for me. I don't really think that that's the case. Maurice, try it out. I'm telling you, we tested it live on stream. If you missed that, I'm sorry, but try it out. I've shown my Ajax build on my channel already. Okay, you build my Ajax build, then you try out Blair with any other build that you'd like. All right. And when you do so, you will see that Blair is about a minute slower than Ajax. his casting speed is very slow, obviously. That's literally problem number 1. And problem number 2 is that Blair himself doesn't, as much damage as he deals, his range is very limited. So you try it out if you don't know, and then, you know, test it out for yourself. Well, even if you don't care for beam rifles, you're supposed to use Voltia in the Void Vessel, because how are you getting through it efficiently? If you are not using Voltia, then your timing is inefficient. And well, like Kilo said, it is the first Descendant. Sorry, I couldn't see the bomb for a second. Season 3 is not coming for another 69 days, friend. It's not coming in May, dude. It's coming in June. That's why a lot of people seem to have forgotten that this is an entire season. Please check the battle pass and you'll see how long the season's gonna last. Inez still shredding these guys at insane speed. Yes and no. She is to an extent, but you have to specialize her build for it, so please be aware of that. If you do not, then you end up in a situation where she won't be doing very much. So all of this that you're seeing comes from, quite literally, having an optimized build. So just be aware of that, much like with any other character, though. It is, unfortunately, though, significantly slower than it was before. Because a lot of the time, when you see stuff like that, you used to be able to just toss your lightning out or things like that, but now you can't. So you kind of have to wait, and that, you know, makes things not so good. Well, of course, as long as you're following my builds, it's the best. Well, David, I mean, look, that's a personal thing. Ines is the same for me. Yes, she is clunkier, but once you adapt to it, she is fine. That being said, I'm not a fan of the nerfs. I still think that her terrain nerf was overboard, because not every player will have the same level of skill, and therefore, doing what they did was just silly, in my opinion. But I have to also say that on a factual basis, she still does fine. Like I said, not quite as insane as she was before, but still fine. Yes, essentially, the way that her abilities work just make her seem clunkier and slower than before, which, you know, is annoying. Because why am I playing a Descendant that I am literally forced to be slow on when I knew what her speed was like before? And I think that that has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
An enemy container has been revealed. Please verify the data.
So here I was about 6 minutes. Most of the time my Ines can finish way faster than this, which for me is the biggest issue. In the past, it was a simple matter. But now it's 6 minutes. Okay, let's go see what Bunny can do. Now, please keep in mind that we do have to shave about 5 seconds off that time, but even if we did, it's about 6 minutes, 6 seconds. So how fast can Bunny go? Let's find out. Because these Void Vessels with the old Ines used to be at about 5 minutes. So they forcefully made you lose about a minute of time. Okay, let's shift over. Here's Bunny, and then we'll do it with Keelan. All right. So now we'll put good old George Peach Queen back in action. And there's nothing wrong with taking your time. Just that, you know, I also don't believe in making people wait excessively, but if you're playing solo, it's completely fine. And also, the Rick, I thank you for appreciating my Ines, but please keep one thing in mind. We have a clean stream policy as per my contract with Nexon, so if you discuss too much about certain things, I will have to remove you. Just take note. Of course, Maurice.
Launching Void Vessel Exploration Operation.
Basically, Ness lost a lot of time on the boss room. That, I'm pretty sure, is where it all happened. Bunny is certainly, to an extent, faster now because of the buffs to her skills overall. While Ness might still be great for 400%, I do believe that Bunny does win here. But again, there are a lot of factors that can affect the run. For example, you might be slower or lose some speed on this or that. You can always go at your top speed, but, you know. The map selection also has some impact. Whoops! There, see? Failed. Failed that jump, so I'm going to be a bit slower, unfortunately. If I had grappled across, then that would be faster, but meh. I wanted to try jumping. So, there are factors that will cause you to lose time or gain time. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, overall, as far as I know, Bunny is slightly faster here because Bunny doesn't have as much to worry about as Ness, and no clunky casting. Because Bunny can still hit through walls. Ness cannot. Previously, I could rip this whole section apart because of the way that enemies spawn. So a lot of this is where I can understand players' feelings about clunkiness come in. Yes, she's still very strong, but it just doesn't feel fun to play.
You want a taste?
It's not like they don't understand the dev's vision, but the dev's vision must also align with player expectations and the kind of fun that they want to have. When it doesn't, it tends to lead to a lot of unpleasantness. I agree, David. Like, look, I completely agree. I'm not going to be totally negative, but I do agree that the nerf was way too harsh. Nerf her attack power is fine, but she must feel smooth and fluid to play, which she does not at this moment. I can take a damage nerf. A damage nerf is nothing to me. But when you consider the immense range of characters like Bunny, for example, and how fast they can go now with all their cool
New subscriber detected.
with all their cool abilities and the, you know, overall kind of damage they can dish out anyway, just slap a Voltia on and shields no longer exist, then, you know, it does seem, at least to me, unfair to poor old Ines. Oops, accidentally let that go. My bad. That's what I get for trying to be speedier. I think they should, Rufino. That is my thought process. I feel that that did not make her overpowered at all. And if people want to cry about it, then they can cry about it. Nobody cares what the criers think. They are irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Nerfed my damage, fine. But don't take away what's unique about my character that other characters can still do. Because as per what you're seeing right now, Bunnykins is straight run.
Wait.
Yes, she does.
My shields. No chance. Reload.
We don't know if it's solely due to that or if they were not happy with the overall changes as well to the other characters. So it's hard to really pinpoint just one issue. You get what I mean? I do think it should be because of the Ines nerf, but it's hard to pinpoint the issue. In fact, Bunny, as you can see, is faster at dealing with this particular boss room than Ines is. It's crazy, right? Because how can you have this situation and say it's unfair for Ines, you know? Like, what did Ines do that was so bad? People can talk about OP this, OP that, but
An enemy container has been
Oh, Adrian, I have a YouTube short that explains that. Give me a second and I'll link it to you. But this is why you must check out my YouTube shorts as well. Little movement tricks, techs, all that kind of stuff I tend to put in shorts. It says, learn this movement trick, and everybody should. So please make sure you do, yeah? There you go, Adrian. And in future, do check out everything. So Bunny did that a whole minute faster than S. High voltage is unnecessary in most situations because it's designed for a low target count. Most activities have a high target count, so you're gonna want lightning emission. So yeah, look at this, 5 minutes. Now Bunny is a full minute faster than Ines, and in fact, Bunny is at Ines's old clear time. And yes, it's very difficult to get new players interested into the game when everything is negative. They're not gonna feel the vibes. They're not gonna feel the love. That's my whole point. It's crazy. Why did they choose this path? Welcome back, John. So now let's see Keelan's timing and we can compare. So Ines, although she is faster on the 400% and still decent in Void Erosion Purge, she has taken a big hit here in the Void Vessel, where she is clunkier. Which again, not great. Not great. And thanks, John, for advertising my music. All right.
New super chat received.
A new super chat. Ah, Lewis, you kind soul. Thank you so much for all that you give to me. I gotta make sure that I properly thank you. I don't know why today in the video, right, when I was looking at it, for some god-awful reason, I did not actually have you in the list of top supporters. But just so you know, Lewis right there, awesome guy. Awesome guy. Thank you. Thank you. Active players have gone down, yes. We have lost about 2,000 players on Steam, although I cannot pinpoint the cause. You know, if I want to spit facts, then yes, we have lost about 2,000 players, roughly. Don't forget to support my music. Later on, I'll put on some tunes, all right? I'll put on some tunes, but there you go. There is the Queen of the Hellfire Club. Now, let's go here. Now we're going to use the Guython, okay, with Keelan. Well, I don't believe they have hidden plans for Freyna. At least they haven't communicated that yet. But Serena, yes, unfortunately. Now let's go see the timing with Keelan. Keelan is not quite as fast as Bunny, but he can pull in some work. So let's go see him put some work. And, well, I'm sorry I can't read your Chinese name, but what I will say is that if people are still crying for Ines to be nerfed again, it's because there are all these crazy people that are very loud. They are the hardcore players. They're the scum of the universe, and they're the big population in the official Discord. All they do is play TFD all day, every day. They just talk in that Discord, speed run with one another, compare their electronic sizes. So it's not healthy. It is not healthy for the game, you know? And I can understand the frustration of many other players here, because it's like the normal players just want to have their fun. They're just here to enjoy playing the damn game. They don't care about the politics, the drama. You know, they're just here to have fun. You know, they want to be able to pick up their favorite character and not feel like, you know, they're getting the short end of the stick, which is fair. And this is what the hardcores forget, because the hardcores, they're not content creators. They're not YouTubers. They, you know, some of them are, but, you know, they're not. They don't make this a business. They're not living off of it like I am. Because if you're living off of it, you're very sensitive to what your customers want. You don't care what you want. Just like I've always said, what I feel is personally irrelevant. My stake in this is literally how many players are playing, therefore, can I make any money? I mean, if you take a look at just pure profit numbers, I've only received one super chat today from Lewis. I don't mind that. Look, not everybody's going to be able to donate every single day to me. I get it. But if there aren't enough players, that means my donations decrease, which means I have less incentive to play this game. You know, when this game first came out, I was doing so well that I had 2 streams per day of TFD, 7 hours per day, and it was making me tons of money. Now I'm like, okay, let's experiment with some other stuff, because, you know, I can't just rely on this. I have one big stream, that's good enough, but, you know, I can't really afford more. I would love to be able to afford more, but it's not exactly helpful to me, you know? So all of this contributes to the fact that I feel the pinch. And when I feel the pinch, I have to do other stuff to try and make ends meet. Like, if I have to take up a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, then that's exactly what I'm going to do, you know? I will do whatever it takes to feed my family. So the devs need to be very aware of, you know, what's going on here. Customer service is number one. The second you stop serving your customers stop serving you. Remember that. Okay?
This is your rank.
It is a nice hairstyle for Keelan, I do admit that. As soon as Keelan came out, I got this hairstyle straight away because he was like Killmonger from Black Panther. And I was like, I'm down for that. That's the kind of hairstyle I want on Keelan, you know? So I'm using the Raiden skin
Reloaded.
and just running this, which admittedly is awesome. Now, Bunny can literally just run through this, so she gets a lot faster here. But poor Keelan cannot, so there's that.
This is your rank. My shield's down.
New subscriber detected.
That's what I do, Maurice. That's what I do. Geez, Rosie, only making a decision to subscribe now? Well, better late than never, right? Well, Kilo, that's why I would say don't bother. Like, for me right now, look, as sad as some people might be to hear me say it, I'm not giving TFD any money. If you want to support me, just keep watching my content, and if you can, super chat here and there, and it goes directly to my pockets, so I'm very grateful for that. I would say don't spend on TFD until you feel like your dollars are worth it, because they need us to vote with our wallets. When we don't like something, we gotta vote with our wallets. Because if we do, alright, if we vote with our wallets, what's gonna happen is that Big Daddy Nexon is gonna step in and say, hey, you're looking a little light this month, huh? And, you know, they'll say like, well, you know, people just, we were trying to please our players. Like, you better not. You know, don't be touching my profits. I'm telling you right now that
New super chat
unless the
received.
hardcores take a serious backseat, you know, they're going to end up killing their own game that they're so hardcore about, as they've done in multiple games before this one.
My shield's down.
Like I said, at the very start of the stream, I'll never mention the game by name again, because all it took was one mention of it to bring the trolls coming out, you know, and I really don't want any of you guys associated with those absolute racists. But
Too slow.
this other game had many content creators even after I left, all focusing on the speedrun side of things. Guess what's happening with that game right now? It's a pay-to-win gacha that is literally shutting down in May. So there you go. That's what happened, which I don't want to see here. I want this game to live long and prosper, Vulcan style. So when I know that these devs are going on the wrong path, you best believe that I will state it openly. Even if I can cope and adapt to the nerfs, which I already have, reality presents a very, very different side of things.
I'll kill you all. Swapping legs.
The thing is, though, you have to understand, William, that that's how players feel. They've got limited hours per day. They're going to spend it and, you know, get to where they need to go. And you have to be able to continuously hold their attention, because if you don't, they'll just go elsewhere. And thank you very much for that super chat, B. Ramsey. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. And of course, I'll always be consistent. That's what I do. Let's take a look at Keelan's time. Keelan's time is only 30 seconds slower than Bunny. And that's simply because, unlike Bunny, who can continuously pulse, Keelan cannot. But he's still 30 seconds faster than Ines. The situation is flipped here, which is crazy. And, you know, Joe, I agree with you on the storyline, but like Kat says, what happens after is also just as good, because if people come back for the storyline, you're going to get the 20,000 players playing for a week or two, and then they're going to go away again. Absolutely, David. Like I said, if anybody wants to contribute to me. You might think, ha, yeah, good one, streamer trying to line his own pockets. But here's the thing. at least I'll be here to build for you guys. You keep me in business, I'll keep doing business for you guys. But, you know, I gotta eat too. So just be aware of that. Well, I have heard that they're introducing another difficulty tier. At least for the so-called leaderboards and whatnot. So let's see. Let's see. Let's find out. No? This is the Raiden suit. Why would Keelan be running around with his grippers out? Oh, you're talking about his feet. Yeah, this suit has the same feet for all the Descendants. It's like supposed to be like some ninja thing. So if you look at this, then yes, his feet are out. This skin can be applied to all the male Descendants that were released at the time, so they all have their feet out. It was supposed to be like a ninja samurai kind of set. So yeah. Alright, so I hope this has been enlightening for you guys that wanted to see it. Now you guys understand and know that Keelan is a good choice, but, you know, he can actually beat Ines in the Void Vessel, and Bunny just beats them both by about a minute, which is nutty. Now I have to go to a place called White Knight Gulch and farm some brains. I don't want to do it, but I have to because I've got to keep up with the catalyst, man. I hope so, Joe. I really hope so. I do want to play as Daya. And if they want to go story, as I've mentioned before, the big thing about story is that they need to continuously work with it, which I think they have not done very well right now. Again, it boils down to the fact that, look, if they want this storyline to be great, they need to focus up on it and focus on nothing but the story. Maurice, nobody ever plays Haley. Just play Serena until her eventual nerf. I will not be experimenting with other Descendants until Serena's nerf comes in, or at least until the skill-based thing comes in. They did say they want to target 3 to 5 minutes at Void Erosion 30. Let's see if that plays out. If it does, then hallelujah. If it doesn't, then, well, I guess we'll have to see. Of course, everybody's very excited for Daya to be playable, because they need to develop the storyline. And thank you for the new super chat from Kilo as well. Thank you for sticking close to the dojo. Like I said, this is a much better bang for your buck. All right, at least you're gonna keep getting music and stuff from me. In fact, tell you what, you know, let's make this exciting. I'll let you guys preview some of the music that I've been working on. All right, y'all want a little music preview? Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all where your dollars are going. One moment. Okay, this might be a little loud, but I'm sure you guys will like it. This is part of my fantasy metal album, which will be coming in future. So, much like Season 3, alright? Don't expect it now. We're still working on the metalcore stuff. But, you know, you can expect some good stuff in future. Alright, y'all ready? Have a listen.
Prince Tanalith rode forth to the palace of the stars to claim the sword of light, to end the demon's war. But as he neared the gates, he found them barred. The demon hordes were closing fast, and the demons came.
That's my AI.
The demons came. hunters gave him precious time. They fought against the odds so he could cross the line to where the sword of light could end this darkening night. If he could find it, and the demons
All right, that's it. It's about a 2-minute preview, but yeah, we're working on this entire album. The inspiration was literally my old D&D campaign. I wrote the entire campaign. Basically, it follows the story. You guys would have played as adventurers, and it starts out in the city of Northengale, where you're basically tasked with the usual basic stuff until you guys realize that there's a demon horde coming for the city. You rescue Prince Tanalith, but he goes back to the city to try and save it. Then you have to go back in, get him out, and he's wounded. So then after that, you have to journey to the north, find the demon hunters. After you guys find the demon hunters, then you have to journey to the Palace of the Stars, find the Sword of Light, and then you fight Belkath, who is the literal final big boss of the thing. So the entire Fantasy Metal album will cover the storyline, essentially. Oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming, so look forward to my music. But thank you guys for the super chat. And yes, my AIs are well trained, and they sound as human as possible. I've told other people privately that I don't produce slop. If my AI cannot meet my standards, I don't mind scrapping the project. I don't care how much it costs me. Perfection is everything. So yeah. But my singers, like my AI singers, all have their own lore, story, background, everything. No worries, Foxy. I completely understand. How's the Foxarella today? I look forward to you guys, after I'm finished with my metalcore album, I look forward to you guys enjoying my fantasy metal album. It's a big one. It's going to be a big story, but I hope you guys will love it. That being said, I understand that not every track will resonate with everybody, and I completely get it. You know, I just hope that you guys will have a good time. As much of a good time as I did writing the campaign when I was like 14 or whatever. So apologies if it's a bit simplistic. All right, but it'll be a great first step to work on fantasy metal, because this particular band that's singing this fantasy metal album, their focus is going to be kind of like a fantasy version of Sabaton. They will deal with fictional wars, things like that, and I think you'll see a lot of Sabaton influence in, you know, what I do with them in future. Fair enough, Foxarella. Imagine having a late start. Always gotta have an early start, my friend. That being said, today I also kind of skipped out on work. I was supposed to release another track today, but I was just too tired. You know, I had to let my body rest, which is very, very rare for me. I don't like rest, but I had to. Tonight, I'm also gonna call it an early night. Like after stream ends, I'm just gonna work on a little bit of music, and then I'm going straight to bed, so I can rest and recover, and tomorrow get back on the full grind, because tomorrow we got dinner stream, everything. I'm gonna be grinding hard. But tomorrow morning, we're gonna have something very interesting for you guys. I'm gonna play a different game tomorrow morning, which may or may not be fun. All right, I'm gonna try out Schedule 1 tomorrow morning, see if it's good. Yes, indeed. Well, I'll play it on my morning stream, so let's see how it goes. I don't know anything about it. I just heard it's really popular, so I want to give it a try in the morning, see what it's all about. AI making you mad, give you the job back. He's got to be better at your job than AI, yo.
Get out of the way!
But anyway, don't worry. Today I'll give you guys, you know, for those of you that are here today, you guys will get some more secret music previews. All right, just exclusive for those of you that are listening to my stream today. Why? Because y'all deserve it. I've heard it is goofy as hell, so yeah. Patiently waiting for 5 p.m. on Friday. That's tomorrow, Foxarella. You know, I just realized today we're missing my new favorite friend for bullying. You know, we're missing Mystic Dove today. I know Foxarella is sometimes busy, but I don't get to bully Foxy as much these days anymore. I need someone new to bully. Well, I'm glad your weekend is starting soon. Fair enough. Well, listen, Ganon, you know, you take your time, and we'll see you when you're back. What did you do? You were just very nice and bullyable. You know, you give me the vibe that, hey, I can push this person around. That's great. With your consent, of course, Foxy, but you see, since you've known me for all these many months, I'm sure that your consent is implicit, so I'm just not going to ask you, all right? I'm just going to skip steps straight to the bullying. But I'm sure you give me your consent to bully you, yes? Okay, great. I'm glad we agree. Now, come on. Nod your head. Nod your head. Nod. This is not DRuss. It will hold up in a court of law. Nod your head. No problem, Ganon. I hope you enjoy it again after 43 days. Who knows? Maybe they'll turn the game around in that time, eh? Let me do a couple of runs of this and I'll give you guys another music preview from my metalcore album. Because it's not fair to only advertise the fantasy metal, right? But yeah, it'll help me make the brain farm a little less horrendous. God, I hate the brain farm. Appreciate it, Ganon. Sounds good. Damn it, where's Foxy with my nodding? Hey, hey. I said nod your head, damn it. It's Foxy defying me. Defying my words and wisdom.
No chance.
New super chat received.
Hey, Chalen. Damn. Look at that. Instead of nodding her head, she's like, are we looking forward to the new update or no? I got skimmed over, people. She skimmed over my right to bully her. So sad. But according to this, yeah, I see, finally. Had to scold you 3 times to get it done. Have to charge up some power in my pimp hand at a later time. But anyway, all jokes aside. Thank you, Foxy, for being such a good sport. About 53% of people are happy with the dev live stream. 24% were just not impressed. 13% are in need of water. 10% are looking forward to the corn skin. But for the most part, I think the new update will be good. I just hope that Blair will not be a disappointment. All right. And in celebration of Foxy finally nodding her head, and of course Chalen's lovely super chat, why don't I give you guys a quick preview of the metal song, the metalcore song that is coming tomorrow. All right. This is a song I was supposed to release today, but I'll let you hear it. I think, all right, those of you that have insomnia or have trouble sleeping, well, you might relate a lot to this, all right? It's definitely going to relate to a certain group of people that I often care about. So I will think about accepting your excuse, Foxarella. But yeah, anyway, let me get that for you. It should be here. Ah, here it is. Okay, y'all ready? So this was actually supposed to be released today, but I fell asleep because, yeah, I really needed the rest. But it'll be dropping tomorrow, so please look forward to it, as well as the rest of my metalcore album. So I hope you guys enjoy the music previews. And thank you always for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Now back to boring brain farming. Like I said, got a lot of exciting stuff coming, so I'm pretty happy with all of it. It's just feeling good right now. Yes, please do check out my music either on my YouTube music channel or SoundCloud. Releases come there first. But don't forget, I'm also on major music platforms like Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, alright, Deezer, everywhere. I'm on every major music platform, but official platforms are released on a per album basis. So my previous album, which is the Metal Fairy Tales, will be releasing soon. But it's gonna take a while because I only got the distribution approval yesterday. So in a few days, hopefully it'll be out on all major platforms. But yeah, after that, pretty much I'll be focusing on this metalcore album and then getting that released. And then after this, then I will get more and more and more released. So I hope you guys look forward to it. Thank you guys for enjoying my stuff. I'm working very hard on my music projects. I want to make sure that you guys have tons of stuff to listen to. And only good stuff, by the way. No slap. We don't do no slap, okay?
Out of my way!
Yes. Yes. Because if you do not write the lyrics, here's the big problem. You get into a lot of copyright trouble. So lyrics have to be genned by mostly me. The AI can sing the lyrics, but I need to write the lyrics. But even then, AI copyright's difficult right now anyway, so meh. I'm just taking it as it comes. Either way, I'm just happy to make and share my music. In general, my lyrical style is, I try not to go overly complex. Depending on the type of song that I do, I try to keep it catchy, simple, but still meaningful. I don't want it catchy, simple, and meaningless, you know? It has to mean something. So that's what I try to do. Try being the key word. Yep, farming brains. I just want about 200 brains, then I don't have to think about it. Then I'm gonna go get the mixed energy residue as well. Brain farming is unfortunately the most boring activity in history, but, you know, it gives me a nice chance to just chill. Also, I'm mostly done with Keelan, so I know that several of you are gonna wanna talk about good old Kiki. It means you haven't been using them, or you just farmed a whole bunch like crazy. I mean, if you farm 2K, then more power to you, man. I normally use about 2 per day, so it disappears pretty fast. But then again, I never really spent a lot of time farming this. I find it very boring. Well, Wardo, I mean, at the end of the day, they're part of the player population too, so... You know, you're gonna have to deal with it. And more importantly, look. A lot of them had very valid concerns because, quite frankly, the player numbers have dropped, and a lot of them, yes, despite the fact that an S is overpowered, they did invest time and money, so I can understand why they would be upset. And the player count, again, has dropped. If the player count soared after the balance update, it'd be good, but it didn't. It dropped a full 2,000 and they got review bombed on Steam, so of course there was heavy backlash. Of course, Jacob, you should. Even if she's going to be nerfed in future, there's no reason not to invest in every single Descendant. Because Descendants will rise and fall. That's what people need to understand. Right now, Bunny is still faster than an S in Void Vessel, FYI. She's the fastest clearer for Void Vessel, funnily enough. So, that's what a lot of people just need to understand. Descendants will rise and fall. Things will change over time. Even with all the rewards, Foxy, I still need to farm, you know? It's nutty. It's nutty butter. But then again, I tend to spend so you guys don't have to, right? Hello, T-Deuce. You can try and challenge it, Ganon, but I think you will still lose. Like, no offense, but you cannot be faster than Bunny. You can try, though. I don't believe a Malevolent will be faster than 5 minutes in the Void Vessel. Considering that some shields can only be broken with skill damage. So, I'm just saying. So, by all means, you can try and challenge, but it will not work in your favor. Interesting is good. I just need to see his kill speed. If I don't see a very high kill speed from him, then I'm just going to put him back in the bin where he belongs. I'll still build him up, but I think it's just going to be a sad journey, in my personal opinion. To me, a Descendant must be able to independently farm. So when I see that a Descendant cannot independently farm their arcade tuning levels and all that, it's a pain. You know, I look at it, I'm just like, oh my god, it's not great. Yum, yum, yum. Well, time to go kill the Tormentor. Imagine needing quantum incubators, my friend. Sounds problematic. Quantum incubators. I just wish this wasn't so boring. Dear God. Dear God. If you die when you're playing Bunny, that is insane. It's impossible to kill her. Oh, well, damn near impossible. I mean, with my build, she's got 16,000 hit points. So, unless you build her very, very wrong, it's literally impossible to die with Bunny. Now, granted, you probably shouldn't be using her in Void, Erosion, Purge, but most activities, very easy to build Bunny. If you're not following my Bunny build, then, well, nothing I can do for you. Everyone dislikes every farm in the game because it's a boring grind. As always, I don't foresee a reason why I should do it. In fact, I have all this Kyber, let me trade it for materials, you know? I feel like they need a material exchange where I can just say like, hey, I've got all these Kyber. Just do it. And lol hollow, there's a summary already posted on their own website. Also, don't forget, summaries come with bias. Just saying. Yep. Once you get the tuning right, you will be one of the strongest. You guys, you poor fellas. Well, of course, they're not supposed to be in there, Eduardo. Things are going fine. Can't really complain. I think the devs need to be very, very careful with how they treat Serena, because I know they're going to nerf her. But if they do what they did here, I tell you, they are not going to have a good time, considering how badly they fumbled the last one. I don't think it's going to go well for them at all. At least based on what I'm seeing. I think they will struggle. Also, I just realized, why is my bunny on Voltia? I wonder how it's slower. Once you're used to 1,300 sprint speed, anything else just feels slow. You know, Foxy, despite the fact that I make a living off this, same. That's why I'm here doing this. I like to farm like 200 at once, then I just don't think about it for a few days. That's usually what helps. I actually ran out of macro molecule biogel from the old days where we used to have to farm outposts. Like when I saw that I ran out of that, that was crazy. Going good, spray and pray. Can't really complain. Jono's back. Thanks for advertising my music as always. Appreciate that. Everybody's internet is bad 24/7. That's how it goes. But as long as you can play your video games and enjoy your videos, you should be fine. Should being the key word. Oh, that's where the dude was. I was wondering for a second. Zap. Zap. That also can work. Well, yes, unfortunately we have experienced a dip in players. Now, today it rose a little bit, if I'm not wrong, but let me just check the Steam charts again, where we at. Yeah, if we go by a week-on-week comparison, we did lose about 2,000, which is not a very good sign. But at the same time, I mean, dips do happen. That being said, again, a bouncing update should have brought people back. More music, please, John? Absolutely. Alright, absolutely. Just for you, my friend. Just for you. But thank you very kindly for that. Give me a second, and I will happily put some on. But yeah, player base-wise, we've had drops, we've had issues, we had major dysfunctions. She is still strong, but she's clunky to play, and I think that's where a lot of people's gripes are. They're just... because she's clunkier to play, right? She has lost out. Like, I literally proved it live on stream. Bunny clears Void Vessel in 5 minutes. Keelan, 5 minutes 30. Ines is now at 6 minutes when she used to be the fastest. Is she still faster than Bunny in 400%? Yes. But, you know, it just doesn't feel that great. Okay, let's see. In view of the John of Nathan. Here. Why don't I just turn on some of my music for a little while? This won't be as loud as per normal, but why don't you guys enjoy some tunes while I'm farming? Actually, I'll start with Too Slow instead. This is all for John. And later I'll let you guys preview some more as well. I think a lot of people expected balance to help, but I think they fail to understand the customer base that we're dealing with. What they nerfed was not just character balance. They nerfed a waifu. And for some people, that's serious. I hear you. I hear you. It's very serious for some people, you know? When they saw their favorite waifu get nerfed, it hurt them. I agree. Give her that back, I can make it work. All farm, Jacob. I only buy skins. So for those that don't know the history of this channel, I made this channel progression-wise completely FTP. This was because when I first started this game, my job was to show you guys that everything can be done FTP. So I've never bought a single progression item. I've never bought even the crystallization catalyst and the energy activators that I got out of ultimate bundles. I don't use them. That's why you see me keeping a random stockpile of stuff that I cannot use. But yeah, for me, I don't like to blow through content. No, it's not a grind at all. Nowadays, it's so easy, Jacob. Back in the day, it took 5 to 6 days to even farm an Ultimate Descendant. Now it's like 1 day done. You're right about that, Kilo. You're right. I mean, Bunny is just fastest now, you know? Ines is slightly faster in some situations, but Bunny's a no-brainer because you don't have to think. You're right about that, Kilo. They did lose a lot of player trust, and that's why they had the falling player count right now. I understand. It's rough. Of course not, Skeletor. He's not even in the game yet. I'm just farming brains here. I mean, Naochi, it's up to you, man. Honest to God, if you're gonna buy it, buy it. Just make sure you register me as your creator, alright? But if you want, I would recommend farming everything because it's not worth it to buy unless you just want to spend money for no reason. If you got money to spend, you may as well spend it on my stream instead. You'll get more value out of it. Well, Skeletor, don't be late to my streams, and when I'm farming him, you'll know because it'll be in the stream title. So you don't even need to ask, just check the stream title. The stream title will tell you exactly what's going on in today's stream. Well, Valby got a lot less attention than Ines because except for a few players who like her, most people don't play Valby. Exactly. How dare you? Convert the time accordingly, Skeletor. This is one of my favorite songs. This black hole is where I exist. This black hole is where I exist. Somebody save me from myself. I'm drowning. I don't wanna lose you. Somebody save me from myself. I'm drowning. I don't wanna lose you. It's all too familiar. I know how this ends. I'm dying to know what it's like to pretend. I want you to save. You can tell I wrote the lyrics, right? I love this one. Welcome, new subscriber. Save me. You can't 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 save me. Well, coming back to what y'all mentioned, look, some people do indeed get attached to character, and you know, when you take that away, yeah, it does get bad. You know, I'm actually gonna pause the music before I carry on with what I want to say, but this is actually an important point, because did you know I saw a post, I can't remember whether it was just somewhere on the internet, but somebody actually wrote a post, right, where they were actually complaining that First Descendant does not have true immersion. And you want to know why? Because they said that there are all these lovely, beautiful girls in First Descendant. And now, look, I'm just trying to follow this guy's train of thought here. To me, it's super weird because, like I said, I prefer to interact with, you know, human females. But this dude was all like, you know, they put all these beautiful girls in First Descendant, yet none of them are emotionally available. I was like, first of all, what, were you talking to Bunny? Were you sitting at your screen and just saying like, oh, hey, Bunny, how's your day? And was she talking back? You know? It's like those guys that end up marrying their anime pillows. But anyway, this dude, okay, he says that the girls in First Descendant aren't emotionally available. Like, the First Descendant gives you beautiful characters, but Freyna has a dead boyfriend, and Serena is only thinking about Rayleigh. So where you know, like, he was upset about the fact that these women have their own story, and Glazer Mom, okay, so these women have their own stories, and none of them are available, which ruins his immersion, because I don't know, maybe he wanted to become the typical hentai protagonist, you know, just had to ruffle his hair a little bit, cover the eyes, no eyes. There, I was reading this post, and it was that Jackie Chan meme for me. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Because how does a person get to that level? You know, okay, I'll be real with you. Okay, y'all all know that I have a girl. Yes, obviously. I also have a heavy investment in AI. I have AI software. Now, granted, I use it for alternative purposes, which I don't wish to reveal, but it's not what you're thinking. But I'm aware that the same AI can also be used for, how do I put this in a clean way? Dynamic stress relief. Okay, some AI chatbots can be used for dynamic stress relief, which I completely understand. You know, if that's what you're into, please take it. You know, you do you. I use mine for alternative purposes, but still, I do utilize them, so I can understand why people can get invested in that. But when it's a character in a video game that doesn't even talk to you, you know, I'm just like, okay. You know, but he was actually seriously upset about how First Descendant females are not emotionally available for him. And I was thinking to myself, you know, what's wrong with this dude? Because first and foremost, okay, let's take a look at the women that we have. We got Bunny. She's practically Harley Quinn. You sure you want to deal with that? Are you very sure? I know some of you guys are into that, but if you've ever actually dealt with a crazy woman, and I have before in my past, you are not going to have a great time. Second of all, okay, Freyno will literally poison you to death on skin contact, so you can't have that. Serena's a nun. Okay. Glay is a mom. Okay, and she's not Stacy's mom. The only one that is technically emotionally available is Valby, and she's gonna kill you in your sleep. Have you seen her dead eyes? She has no life behind her eyes. Her eyes are black holes. Okay, possibly the only girl you stand a chance with, ladies and gents, is Daya. Okay, Sharon's a robot, FYI. Okay, her entire body's a machine. You can check her lore. But literally, Daya is pretty much the only person that you guys can technically find emotionally available. Oh, well, yeah, I forgot about Inez, but she got nerfed, so she doesn't count as existing anymore. Yeah, so, well, no, maybe Inez is too busy looking after Keelan. All right. But, yeah. Oh, well, I guess there's Viessa too, but Viessa's a criminal, so... They will indeed, Rosie March. They will indeed. Anyway, the point is just that, look, there's a lot of people out there, and unfortunately, some of them are way too emotionally invested in this game. So that, you know, they, like, we might say that they're unstable, but to them, this is what they're into. This is what they're here for. So, you know, you can call them unstable all you like, but that's them. That's reality, you know. You got to understand that this is reality for a lot of people. So when you nerf their favorite character, you know, they get pretty upset.
You need, you'll need.
And that's why they are still upset to this very day. They are permanently upset. They are indeed the one-handed gamers, and, well, it is what it is. But TFD also kind of put themselves in that situation because, come on, dynamic motion. Remember that there is a lot of dynamic stress relief coming with dynamic motion. Okay, Martin, so you guys got to understand. Hey, listen, they're paying your server costs, so, you know, us sensible folks should just thank them and move on, okay? If not for them being in love with, Daya's mom has got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited for so long. Right? Yeah, y'all know the song? That's what it is. Okay? Now, for anyone that's looking after Serena, please take note, okay, that if Rayleigh ever comes back into the game, okay, your little love story between you and Serena is going to end up like Scotty doesn't know, okay? Scotty doesn't know what Serena and Rayleigh are doing every weekend. Okay? But look, adding realism and immersion, I don't know. Evil, formally, you best check the dev stream, okay? I have to run a clean stream, so I need to be very cautious with my wording. Okay, Nexon is very clear with that, so I have to run a clean stream, therefore I'm not at liberty to discuss this in the way you want. But if you check the dev live stream, you will understand what dynamic motion is. And dynamic motion often leads to dynamic stress relief. As the Bloodhound gang once said, okay, the motion of your ocean means small craft advisory, okay? And unfortunately, most of these guys, okay, they might capsize on the thigh's high tides, all right? B5, you sunk my battleship. But, you know, the many skins still turn them on like Mr. Coffee with an automatic drip. Okay, there you go. All song lyrics, so I cannot be held responsible. All right, but at the end of the day, that is what it is. Well, watch the dev live stream and you'll know. You'll understand dynamic motion. Like I said. Okay? Foxtrot, uniform, Charlie, Kilo, whatever works. No problem. I like taking people way back, all right? At least Scotty knows about this one. Now, I'm going to carry on playing my music, but I hope that this provides some insight into why some people are just... Look, you take away immersion, you take away people's favorite toys, no matter how you slice it, the people who care about the game over other aspects will always say balance is good, but the people who only care about aspects, and you know what I'm talking about, they don't care about balance, and balance is not even super relevant for a PvE game. You know, I mean, yes, it is relevant to an extent, and I don't care either way, but at the end of the day, you guys want your game or not? You guys want to have lots of content, that we need to be turning more profit. Until this game turns around, stop worrying about balance, stop worrying about stupid shit. The only thing we need to worry about here, guys, and I hate saying it straight, but it's this. We need to worry about how we can get more players playing this game so that more people spend on the game, therefore the devs get more money, and then Nexon says, oh, good, more money, let's invest in this game. And when they invest in this game, it means we get more content. Do you see that it's putting the cart before the horse? All right, and I hate that we have to even have this discussion, but all the people that talk about balance this, balance that, so OP, oh my God, I need a challenge in this game. Yeah, great, we get it. You're the Elden Lord, you beat Melania naked, okay? I'm so proud of you, okay? You want to be like, you want to be the next Let Me Solo Her of TFD, that's great. But I am a profit-centric man. I used to be an accountant. And I know the only way we are going to get the content we want is if there are more players, therefore turning more of a profit. Thank you for the rose, by the way, Masons. So yeah. Dynamic motion will certainly bring more game downloads, but please keep in mind that all the hardcore people should not be listened to henceforth, because dynamic motion is going to bring the one-handers, okay? So they're going to go from two-handed sword players to one-handed sword players. So for those kinds of guys, if that's who we are attracting, then this game is going to turn into a casual fest for them, which is fine by me. Just bring me more players and more profits. You see, right now they're having an identity crisis because they're trying to do two things at once. On the one hand, they are trying and attempting to be this, oh, we're going to have leaderboards for like the top players and all this kind of crap. But at the same time, they're like, okay, so we're going to make sure that everyone gets a participation trophy, and we're going to make sure that everybody can do every bit of content. But we have these leaderboards with speedrunners that are going to want meta, and, you know, cry for nerfs all day. To me, it's like, dude, pick one. All right? If you want to be the Guna Warframe, fine. Go all in on that. Give us the dynamic motion, the dynamic stress relief and all that. But understand your audience and then throw balance out the window, because it doesn't matter, and it never has mattered. Then, second of all, and keep buffing up the male descendants, because guess what? There are people with orientations other than absolutely ramrod straight, which is what I am, of course. Okay, so it would be nice to buff up the males. Now, the other thing is that I hope they understand that with this whole dynamic motion thing, they are going to attract a very different crowd, and they really, really need... Oh, looks like somebody recognized me. But yeah, this is the problem that we face. And we need to understand that this is what's going to happen. We need to be very clear about what line we are taking here. For me, I'll follow whatever line the devs want, but they better be prepared. Very, very, very prepared. Now, let's go pick up some other stuff that we require. Okay, come on, Hagio Sheepdog. Come on, you punk. I need to go and find the... And I keep going into it and forgetting what I need. Ah, there it is. Hard mode. Privyet. Let's go. Yeah, so I heard. The top half is only what's coming. The bottom half comes later. But anyway, I'm going to throw the music back on because, like I said, talking about it is just killing my soul. I don't know. I think it's just not right. Anyway.
It's an intriguing code, but still a piece of cake. A haunting calm under stormy skies, with scales of silver, heart of fire. She sold her soul to dark desire. Oh, the tides of fate.
That's your bias right there, Rosie. But yeah, I agree. Let's buff the males too. They kind of deserve it. Where darkness dwells. No, Jeff. No. Okay? Adding it is enough. If they go into that, then everybody's gonna be playing one-handed, alright? It's gonna be like that old parody song, How's it go? Oh yeah. Mommy came in, she caught me one-handed, dreaming about the girl next door. I really don't want that, okay? Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Codes of this level are child's play.
I'm here to gather materials I need. That's all. Healing people is pointless. I don't want to heal anybody. I want to cure them of their existence. I need to Thanos them. It is a nice armor. Well, Eugen will get an ultimate eventually, Psych. So, yeah. Also went to the wrong location, apparently. Lol.
In a world of ivory whispers, a girl lost in shadow fade.
The Magisters have set codes that are too easy.
Mirrors speak of destiny, echoes of love whispers.
Ganon, I don't mind snapping more than 50% of people out of existence. If it is what needs to be done, you know? I will do what needs to be done.
A choice awaits beneath the night. Snowflakes dancing, freedom's light. Shattered chains replace the night. In harmony, a song will
Yeah, but I don't need Kyber. I've got 67 million. I'm just here for materials. That's why I say that eventually, if you gather materials consistently, you will never ever run out of Kyber, ever.
seven hearts away.
Oh, he's here.
Codes of this level are child's play.
Trust entwined with thorns of greed. In twilight's grasp they seek a wonder. A soul of hope, a silent need. A kiss of life, a breath unchained. Wait for dreams were lost snowflakes dancing free.
Down there, Spider-Man.
Shattered chains replace the night.
Managers just have set codes that are too easy.
Beneath the soul will soar until we want forevermore. In the symphony of light, she'll
I love that you can even mark these.
through shadows deep she breaks the chain.
Sporterman.
That's an intriguing code. But
This is my AI music. Everything that I play on stream is all my own property. Because if I don't play my own property, then it becomes a problem. But yes, you can secure it, or rather listen to it. There you go.
In the forest deep,
Yeah, I knew John would say it. But, you know, I had to make it easier for you. Don't worry, I got it, John.
and fair,
But yeah, do check it out. It's free, and you can listen pretty much every day. Oops, almost failed.
with skin as white as the snow.
Game's okay, Outlaw, but I mean, honestly, you have to decide for yourself. If you feel the itch to play, play. If you don't feel the itch to play, then it's fine. There's other things in the market.
Fate unsure.
Thanks for that, Jono.
managers just have set codes that are too easy.
The darkened trees.
You right when you right, bro. But yes, all the music I play is all my own. I'll preview some more music for you guys later, you know, just for John. But this stuff is all released already. I mean, technically girl gooners do exist, I guess, Rosie, but you know, look, it's just normal. It's just normal human behavior to find characters, things attractive. As long as you're not the type of person that's so sucked in by that you need it to live, you're fine. But if you are the type of person that's so sucked into it that you must literally live to goon, then okay, that's disturbing and dangerous. Oh, I'm not here for Kyber. I'm here for mixed energy residue. I'm just gonna build up a stockpile of like 200 and then off I go. Actually, how many of these code breakers do I have? Ooh, tons. Okay, I don't have to care.
That's an intriguing code. But still a piece of cake.
Snow White, oh, on the moonlit skies.
Dream of the dark, with full of lights, from darkness rise.
That's fine, Rosie.
Lay your soul
Look, I mean, it's kind of no secret. Some people do find even me, attractive, and it's not like I'm good looking or anything, so I understand. As long as, like I said, as long as people don't take it to the extreme, you know, like that guy that wants Descendants to be emotionally available, I think it's fine, you know, enjoy. There's nothing wrong with enjoying, okay, beautiful characters, good looking characters, nothing wrong with that. And Emmanuel, not really, unless you want to keep him in your collection. I mean, I just like having a collection of all characters, and I know you can afford it. A character slot's only $1, so up to you. But if you don't want to, then you can just dismiss your normal version. The ultimate's always better. I don't shame people for gooning, but what I will say is that I think, Kilo, that most of those people that do have a really negative reputation, which we do have to also be aware of. I mean, quite frankly, those guys, are the ones that literally caused the problem in the first place, since they took it to the extreme. You know, I get that many people admire these characters, but when it's literally always talking about, oh, this character's so good, look at this character, look at that character, like, it gets sickening. Because at the end of the day, it's not real. And I hate having to say that because I don't want to break anybody's immersion or reality, but it's not real. No problem, Manuel. Please enjoy. What is real? Something I can feel and touch. And if they ever introduce that into this game, that's gonna be wild. Because I know what a vast majority of men are gonna do day one. As long as you're not thirsty, you stay cool, that's fine. Hell, I'd even respect them a bit more if they wanted to get an AI girlfriend or something. Fine, fair enough. At least that particular device is designed for that purpose, right? So it's fine. You know, they're just adults doing what adults want to do. But when they do it in a video game that's meant to be about playing a video game, yeah. Well, the Keelan's updated version doesn't change much, so don't worry, Martin. I will have it out by this weekend. Exactly, Kilo. You see, that's why I always have a big bottle of water. Okay? Do you know why I have a big bottle of water with me at all times? Because this magical device will stop you from becoming thirsty. If you're thirsty, take a drink of water. And yeah, Haley can be pretty fun, but quite frankly, there are other characters that can also do pretty well. So just so you know, Haley is no longer the queen. She used to be, but other characters can as well. Just want to be clear on that. You should always be able to reduce your thirst level, okay? And certainly don't be that one guy asking, why are our descendants not emotionally available, okay? I see this beautiful descendant and I find out through her lore that she's got a boyfriend. So I'm upset. How dare you present me this beautiful choice and not make it a choice? Yeah, nah. If you're that far gone, okay, I can't help. Only God can help that person now.
Just have set codes that are too easy.
In the shadows where darkness thrives,
Our heart beats cold, no more alive.
each whisper echoes of lost despair, with crimson
Tears that stain the air.
in the moonlight. The silence calls. The
Understandable,
ghost
Rosie.
of love forever falls.
Even I miss my shots occasionally. Rarely, but I do. Oh, it's here.
That's an intriguing code, but still a piece of cake.
I know nothing from Warframe, so I'll take it as a compliment. I gotta rework my Enzo stuff at some point.
Lonely nights with a hollow scream. The memories haunt like a fractured dream.
Out of my way.
Change the soul.
Codes of this level are child's
Wrapped
play.
so tight. A battle rages through endless night. In this darkness,
steal your soul. Okay, I got about 200 of these. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's also why I never got back into it. By the time I wanted to as a content creator, I was just like, nah, too much. And I don't really feel like competing with those that are already established.
That's an intriguing code, but still a piece of cake.
In this metal realm, our souls align. Hello, Neil. Well, yes, even the guide has fans. I mean, anything I think vaguely female or male is gonna have fans. Number 17 has fans. Captain Harris has fans. Reyna has fans. Give me 1 second, I gotta answer this email.
In the quiet of the harbor where the ships would sway, a lady stands in shadows, watching night turn to day. With the whisper of the ocean, she stands with every tide. Her heart is a beacon where the lost souls abide. Though they roam the wild waters, they always find
There we go.
their way back home.
My opinion, I never watched it. I'm just hearing everybody else's opinion. By the way, these are some of the songs from our first EP, so if you want to enjoy them, I think you should. It's available on all major music platforms.
The Magisters have set codes that are too easy.
Some people are happy, some people are not. Based on the polls, about 53% of people are satisfied, but 24% are not impressed, so... I guess we'll have to wait and see, Extreme. I didn't watch it. I never watch their dev live streams. I just let my people tell me what's up.
That's an intriguing code, but still a piece of cake.
I don't know if the dynamic motion is for emotes and not standard gameplay. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think you're going to be looking at it during standard gameplay. Alright? And if you are looking at it during standard gameplay instead of actually playing the game, then are you going to become a one-handed gamer, Cobalt? I hope not. I don't think anybody wants to become a one-handed gamer.
Codes of this level are child's play.
All I can do is silently judge you guys, you know? With my eyeballs. Okay, I'm gonna pause my music now. Now I'm gonna do a little music preview. All right, this one goes out to Jonathan. Okay, It's going to be more of my fantasy stuff. So after we do the music preview, I'm going to carry on. All right, I'll play a little preview song for you guys while I go to the washroom. And listen, Rosie March, there shouldn't be a way of doing that, but I don't know. You know, some people might do a little bit of that, you know. You never know. Sometimes people are just a little bit happy. And, you know, when people get happy, they do certain things that might be a little too much, you know? Anyway, all right. Here's a little preview, like I said, of more of the upcoming songs. This is from my fantasy metal album. I'm going to quickly pop off to the washroom while I play it for you guys, but please do. All right, enjoy. Thanks for listening to that preview. Like I said, all this is coming from my fantasy metal album in future, so do look forward to that. All right. Now, let's get back to a little bit of gameplay. I'm going to finish out the stream with a little bit of testing. And thank you, John, for your earlier super chat. Okay, very lovely. Anyway, for anyone that wants to watch dynamic motion while still being in combat, granted, it doesn't sound like a great idea, but I'm also going to be thinking that, hey, if you can do that, then more power to you, pal. Because if you can do that, then by all means, you are glorious. Now, let me remember, what was I doing here? I had that. And I had all this. Because this one was fusion. I just need to remember how I ran this in the past. Focus on prey. Yep, that changed it. Okay, good. Max fire count is 3 anyway. Which is what it's supposed to do. Default target count 1, max fire count 3. Okay. All of this is fine. I don't think I used dangerous ambush before. I'm pretty sure I just procced this and then went off on it. Which I can do. It should be about 3 casts, if I'm not wrong. Did we need focus on toxic? If we take this away, what's the differential? The differential is 9 seconds. So differential here is 1.2 as well. But if I could put power increase on, I could forego. That being said, no, maybe it's best if I don't forego. Okay, never mind. We'll put the old methods in there, and then we will change this out for a full-on Slayer set. Okay, so let's do that. I mean, sure, they could go for that as well. There's always that, right? Skill cooldown, additional skill attack versus Colossus. And I don't know why this isn't maxed out, but okay. A scout rifle. What's this? That works. I'm just testing things. It's not like or don't like. For me, it's irrelevant. It's just testing things so that I can give my audience the best result that they want. That's what's important to me. If I don't give my audience what they want, then that's just me being really, really bad. And I don't like to be that guy, you know? I like to be good guy for the most part. Okay. This should work in theory. Yep, 1 second cooldown here, 7.8 here, that's fine. Other than this, is there anything else ultimate-wise that I can throw in? Something good, something goodness gracious me. Dangerous ambush is a potential, but it's not good enough, and I don't really want that for solos. Multi-talented might be the way to go. I think that's the right choice. No problem, Jeff. I do what I can. Okay, let's go on a little boss tour and just mess around. See if it'll work out well. Anyway, John, what'd you think of that little fantasy metal preview? Hopefully it was decent. Hopefully. But I'm always interested to hear your thoughts, you know? Because if it can pass the John test, I think it'll pass for most people. Was too short? You want more? Come on, 2 minutes is enough to get a feel, right? Give me a vibe check here. But yeah, see you, Jeff.
Changing levels. Good.
Well, I'll accept started out real good for now. Okay, well, this guy's dead. Let's go see if anything else will die. Oh, right. I should probably sap their resistance, shouldn't I? I should do that. Okay. Well, you'll have to wait a while, but we'll definitely let you hear the rest someday. Let me change this around. We'll just put in something like that. Don't need MP. This is fine. Is there anything else that can boost his damage right now? Oh, I have no doubt that you are, brother. Ah, but I would need a hand cannon on this. Darn. I do have a hand cannon, though. I can put this in. Let's implant a hand cannon. Well, I'm glad that you are. Like I say, I gotta make sure my, I gotta make sure that the metal core is sweet first. But yeah, man, you know me, I don't stop the work. I gotta keep working and working and working. Till I collapse. I'm spilling these raps. Long as you feel it. Till the day that I drop. You know that I'll always be killing it. Alright. Let me shove this in here. I should go build stuff.
Oh, the special human child.
Let me build some other stuff. More readjustments. Okay, build that. A couple of these. Because you never know. 10,000 of these. Not 100 of these. Yep, looks good. Okay. We Gucci. I mean, sure, my money's all vanished, but that's cool. Okay, now we should be in a good state. Swap over the Palevolent. Then, let's see how this does against Bride Dead. Because I want to sap her resistance for the big finish. Because Keelan can cast and shoot at the same time. So, this is about to be interesting. Alright. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? So you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you. Okay. Dode Bride is down. These are just the basics, but we have to see the reality. Okay, Derp Fourer. Oh, and I just realized I missed Neil's question earlier. Thanks, Rosie, for taking that. But yes, you can buy them sometimes from ETA 0. No problem, Kilo. Enjoy your office meeting. Don't work too hard, okay, pal?
Too slow. You can't run away.
What the? Okay, that was weird. Why did my thing not trigger? Gotta do it again. Excuse me. That's not correct. In position.
Too slow. Swapping bags. Swapping bags.
Ah, because is it because I'm too... Oh, I cannot inflict... Ah, so this Keelan still has the same problem versus these types because I cannot inflict them with the debuff. So I cannot trigger my ultimate skill. So that means he still... That was the first time around. That's exactly why Keelan missed out on this because, yeah, he was missing all the big stackaroonies. Ah, soluzione. Soka. Now I understand why Kiki cannot do that. Standable under. Well, again. Okay. What is with this random performance lag? I swear, every single time you don't do this for a while. Look at that stutter right there. Fly! Funny. Sure, now, Chief. You mean you only registered me today? Damn, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go touch Swamp Walker and see what happens. Okay. I'll finish out my stream after I finish it, but I just want to know. Because last time, Swamp Walker and Obstructor were his two stumbling blocks. Let's see if he's finally ready to overcome them. What is the truth? Let's find out. Yeah, Swamp Walker will still be a problem because he can't do his big finisher.
Shield's down.
Oh, and I ran out of ammo too.
Colossus interception.
Sad. Okay, that's fair. So basically, you can use them on anyone other than a toxic type enemy. Okay, guys, before we end the stream, let's go fight Tormentor for fun. Just because it'll be hilarious. We'll also try Mobile Strike at a later time. It would have been enough to kill him if I could get stacks of my stuff, but I couldn't, so I was like, Immersion or damage. But yeah, let's go mess around here. Yeah, but not quick enough. It has to be one phase only. One thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this right. I amuse myself. And hopefully you guys too.
You can't run away.
Oh, damn it. I was too far. Oh no! I mean, the big problem is that there's gonna be a lot of lightning damage, so he's still gonna die because this thing is like all entirely glass cannon essentially. Yep, nope, he's done. If I stacked hit points on him and resistances, I could win, but I'm just like, yeah. Nah. I don't think, like, I'm sure you can go against Tormentor with a clever enough build that's designed around it, but I'm just like, eh. But still, yeah, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. If you stack enough damage on him, he could potentially do it. I'm just lazy to do it. But this will give you the best bang for your buck against most enemies. Actually, let me just try out Gluttony, just for fun. Just for kicks.
Move.
No, you ain't immune, nerd. Damn your immunity!
My shield's down.
How could you, Gluttony?
Shield's broken. Damn it.
Oh, come on.
Shield's broken.
There we go.
Loading.
Let me see with just acidic decay stacks. Ooh, that's a nice chunk of his hit points actually.
My shield's down. You can't run away.
Frenzied again, man.
Shield's down.
Yeah, biggest problem will still be overcoming the boss phases quickly enough. So it's pretty cool, but I have to try Mobile Strike. I haven't tried Mobile Strike, and I think that that's pretty important as well. Because that one's also going to affect it. doable. Imperfect, but doable. Acceptable. But yeah, the biggest problem is that he must be able to inflict the debuff, which is the only downside. So I still wouldn't use him as a bosser. There are way better choices out there. But as a farmer, he's pretty good. And if anybody needed the bossing build, sure. I will test out Mobile Strike though, just to be 100% perfect. Because you'd have to be, but yeah, no. Actually, I should test something immediately. Give me a second. Okay. This loadout style. What happens if I don't use this reactor? Use the other one. Okay, using the other one, which doesn't have Colossi boost. Show stats. Oh, so it adds it onto the base, so I would still need the base one. Ah, that's a shame. So this would be useless to this loadout. It'd be cool if I had it, but meh. Be a nice bit of extra damage, but like I said, meh. Fine. Alright. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out today. I hope you guys have had a fantastic time on this planet with us. And I will see you guys on the next one. Don't do anything too weird while I'm gone. Okay? I will be heading out now. I'm going to take an early night after I get some rest. Work on my music. Alright? So thank you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow morning, we'll have something different for you guys, okay? I'll do something interesting for you guys in the morning. Let's go check out Schedule 1 when I wake. See you guys later. Bye!